Hey everyone, Brian from Three Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
Hey guys, why are vampires bad artists?
I don't know why.
Why?
Because they always want to draw blood.
What's wrong with that?
Well,
That's
nothing.
how I make a living.
But just blood?
Sometimes.
You should see when they got their hands on a ladder.
Daddy, and what does he do?
It was like a pink nightmare.
Christmas has a Yule log. Not a log, I don't have a log. It's Mother's Day.
All that I have, all that I've learned, everything I feel, all this and more I bequeath you, my son.
Your father was Frankenstein, and your mother was the Lightning.
We named the dog Indiana.
I am your father.
Always have to get that last word in, don't you?
You know, I was like, you know what, that's dumb. I'm not gonna do whatever. And then I could tell Brian was like, he's giving me an opportunity to get in there. I just waited a little bit too long.
Good to be back. Hello, all, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Three Geeky Dads, the show that has all the sex appeal of a garden slug and twice the laziness. Ooh. I am Mark, and with me, as always, are the John and Bond to my Jovi,
Derek. Brian.
And joining us, as always, to say phooey to math, and the title of our show, the Guillermo to our Nandor, Laszlo, and Nadja, Tito.
That's me.
That's you.
Not Richie Sambora.
No, not even close.
That's where I thought you were going.
I thought you were going Richie Sambora.
No, you're our Gizmo.
I don't know any of the other members.
He's got the best part of the song.
He does.
He's got
Now you gotta sing it.
He sings
Richie
one
Sambora.
Yeah, but now you got to sing it like Gizmo, but Gizmo from Gremlins.
Yeah.
I feel like I would. Oh,
The Jabberwocky.
good. That was
He's got to
good.
sound like Dave Coulier.
Oh, yeah,
Would you have some?
yeah. Cut it out.
Is he dead? Because he should be.
No.
Fuck you. Fuck Uncle Joey.
Whoa.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah. Alanis Morissette was right.
The wrong Full House
Bad-
member died.
Bad news. Totally.
Oh, Bob
Totally.
It should have been you, Dave. It should have been you.
Tito's like, I'm Becky's still alive. What the hell?
She's just
Yeah, I
in
was like, who
prison.
died?
House arrest.
She's just in prison.
It's just her career that's dead.
Kimmy Gibbler's still alive, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're
She
all
was
still
on the Fuller House show.
Didn't one of like the old sitcom neighbors, like a young girl that was on the show, die?
So that was Family Matters, and
Oh,
she
that's right.
I think she disappeared.
No,
there
she
was
was-
there was
oh,
a girl
did she
that died
disappear?
on Family Matters, but it was that girl Myra that had a crush
Yes,
on
Steve
Urkel.
Urkel.
She did die. Yeah,
She
yeah.
died.
That
There
was,
was
years ago.
that was
Yeah.
years
Oh yeah,
ago.
no, forever ago.
Now there was the sister, the middle sister, that they wrote off the show.
She disappeared. She
Oh,
got
yeah.
addicted to marijuana.
Yeah, she went upstairs to her bedroom one day and never came back.
Yep.
That's funny to say out loud.
She's hanging out with Richie Cunningham's
Yeah.
older brother, Chuck.
Yep. Fonzie be praised. Hey, speaking of none of what we're talking about right
Amen.
now, speaking of what we do in the shadows, based on the Tito joke there,
okay.
that's why this would have worked, but we kind of went on that. No, I enjoyed this topic more than my writing. That just happens to be the subject of our episode. Well, sort of. As the popular What We Do in the Shadows series debuts its 5th season on Hulu, 5th, right? Mm-hmm. Thank you. The dads decided to dust off the capes, have a bowl of paschetti,
Why don't you eat some boschetti?
and look back at where it all began with the movie What We Do in the Shadows. But before that, we have a yummy appetizer prepared with care by our own Vampa Veal, Brian.
Thank you, Mark.
I think we drink virgin blood because it sounds cool.
I think of it like this. If you're going to eat a sandwich, you would just enjoy it more if you knew no one had fucked it.
For tonight's appetizer, and before we sink our teeth into the main course. See what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Yeah. That is What We Do in the Shadows, the 2014 film that spawned the hit FX series, who, as Mark just said, whose 5th season drops this very week. We wanted to talk about some of our favorite movies that have been adapted into TV shows.
Indeed.
And I believe it's
I'm
Tito.
first.
Tito,
Who
you
goes
are
first.
Indubitably.
My number 3 is a graphic novel adapted into a film, adapted into a show. It's The Watchmen,
Good
right.
call.
which it was a limited series. They're not. I don't think they're gonna make any more. Regina King, Jeremy Irons as Ozymandias. Gene Smart comes back as the original Silk
Spectre.
No, Silk Spectre,
Yeah,
right?
Silk Spectre.
Right?
Yep.
And I just thought it was a really, really fun, kind of gritty show. Don Johnson was in it too.
Yeah, he was. Great cast.
Yeah, and my guy Louis Gossett Jr. is also in it. Mm-hmm. I thought he was dead. He wasn't. It's just I thought it was a really, really good take on the show, and a lot of the stuff they did in the movie that I was glad they took out, like the squids, they put back in the show, and I actually thought it worked really, really well.
I like how they did it.
To see how Jeremy Irons is just like making squid showers every once in a while, and then how
Not Golden Derek. Stop laughing.
not going, and how Yahya Abdul Mateen is also in it. And
Yeah.
he becomes why am I trying?
Dr.
to blank on
Manhattan?
Dr. Manhattan. Thank you. At the end, and spoilers. You should see the show. I just thought it was really, really fun, and there's like the whole gang of Rorschachs.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a cool take. I hope they do another season, but
I don't think they
you
are,
never know.
unfortunately.
It was cool. I thought it was great.
I did too.
Nice.
Cool. My first one's Highlander. I don't know if anybody has this one.
I did.
You did.
But that's all right. I
But
have
gotta
others to
back
choose.
up.
You go. You go.
Let's because the more I'm thinking about it, I think the more I enjoy my backup show now. So I'll give you a chance to talk about that. I'm going to talk about Friday the 13th, the series, stemming from those wonderful movies, having nothing to do with the movies but the name. But it had the Monster of the Week episode that I absolutely loved. Every week was a different cursed object.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I love the cast.
Now, did that come out before Needful Things? Because wasn't Needful Things kind of
Yes.
like the same?
It was, but it came out before.
Is Needful Things a Stephen King
Book.
Yeah.
book,
Yeah.
right?
And it's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
and
one
it's a
of my
great
favorites.
book. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And this is a good show. So I really enjoyed it. I was on for like 3 or 4 seasons, something
Yeah.
like that. But I'm a fan of Monster of the Week shows, and this was really cool. Nice, departure from the series, even though seeing adjacent series would be awesome. I don't know what you would
Well,
do
we're
with
getting
it.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are getting one
Crystal
now.
Lake.
Oh,
the
yeah,
Crystal
yeah.
Lake series. So we'll see.
That's right.
So that's my first one.
What's that going to be on?
Peacock, I
yeah.
believe.
Oh, okay.
My first one is Weird Science.
Oh, I remember that show.
Yeah, from the USA Network. Gary, Wyatt, and Lisa, with Lee Turgensen as Chet. And he took over for Bill Paxton.
Hi, dudes.
Vanessa Angel.
Vanessa Angel, yeah, she was phenomenal, and the show was just hilarious. I loved watching it. I hadn't seen the movie when I saw the show. I wish that it was available on some streaming network now, but
That's when USA started making TV shows.
Right.
USA makes TV shows.
Parker Lewis Can't Lose, and yeah, it was like a bunch of, and I think there was a Ferris Bueller
was
show
a
too.
Ferris
So
Bueller
like,
Yeah.
Ferris
Yeah,
Bueller
there
show.
was.
it's like they, threw darts at a.
Parker Lewis Can't
80s
Lose. I thought
movie
that was
poster.
on Fox, was it not?
Oh, I believe you're right.
Yeah, I think that was a Fox show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But around that same time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, early 90s.
Corky
Yeah.
Nemec. Corin Nemec.
Corin Nemec, yeah.
Corin Nemec.
Yep.
Yeah, so then I'll go with Highlander the series because I had that on my list. As much as I loved the first movie, the sequels were all stinkers.
Yes, they were.
And Highlander the series picked up with what the sequels to the original movie could have been.
Right.
I didn't mind that they changed it from Connor to Duncan MacLeod because I actually liked Adrian Paul, I think, better. Yeah. Especially as the series went on and I got more and more used to him. It was just a fantastic series. Great music, great guest stars. The Highlander fought the Immortal of the Week, and it was just a great series. And it had, 2 sequels series, I think, or spin-offs? They had Highlander the Raven, and they had...
I think, and then...
something else.
Plus the movie crossover.
Right, at the end.
Endgame.
Yeah. Yep.
Which we covered in a
we did.
episode of Three Geeky Dads. Check that out.
Mm-hmm.
Connor MacLeod's in the first episode,
he is.
though, isn't he?
So is Richard Mall.
Right. It's a 2-hour
pilot. Yeah.
It's called is it called The Gathering?
Or The Quickening.
No, The Quickening was Highlander 2. I think it's called The Gathering.
Okay.
I think. Not positive.
Yeah.
There was the redhead kid was in that show.
Yeah.
Bobby?
Richie.
Was it Bobby? Richie.
Pain in the ass kid.
Right.
Couldn't stand him.
Yeah. Well, he died in season 3?
He comes back, though,
Richie.
I think. They always come back. They cut their heads off, they come back.
Sometimes they come back.
Sometimes dead is better.
In Richie's case,
back
yes.
to me.
Your turn.
Yeah, your turn.
I was just looking up Highlander stuff. My number 2 is Cobra Kai.
Nice.
Yeah, you got that one too.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
I just think it's a really fun show. I honestly thought it was going to be a big piece of garbage when it came out.
It really
on
is a
YouTube.
lot better than it deserves to be.
Yeah,
Totally.
when it came out on YouTube, I was like, "Well, this is going to be stupid. I'll never see it." And then it was on Netflix, and I watched an episode, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fucking."
Yeah, hooked
It's
almost
fun.
right
And
from
it
the beginning.
delivers. It delivers every episode,
Yeah.
every season.
Yeah,
Like,
I love it. It's just like one big misunderstanding after
Oh, yeah.
misunderstanding. You know.
Yep.
And
they don't force the nostalgia. Like it doesn't. Well, it doesn't feel forced. Like they managed to pack so many people in from the old movies, and yet it's cohesive with the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really very well done.
And it really shouldn't work because a lot of times you see these people and you're just like, man, you look like shit. What are you doing on TV?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's cool. Shozin's back. He looks like hell, but okay.
Yeah. What
I'm
else is
happy
he
to
doing?
see him. Yeah, right. I'm happy to see Shozin. I'm glad he's getting a paycheck. But yeah, just a fun ass show. And I think the kids are really, some of the stuff can be a little bit annoying, but I like all the action scenes with the kids. The fight scenes are just like is it season 2 when they have the school fight?
The school fight,
I
yeah.
fucking
And then the one in the
love that
mall.
scene.
Yeah.
Oh, the one in the mall. That's an awesome fight.
This town has no security.
Not at
law
all.
enforcement
What are they going to do?
whatsoever. So good.
What are the
Every
police
season they
going to
let
do?
the kids loose.
They can't do anything.
Shoot them.
Great
Oh, no,
show.
can they not do that? Oh.
Great show. I mean, they could.
I think the first season, not that it was forced, but it was definitely more heavy with the nostalgia. As the show progressed, the nostalgia took a back seat.
Yeah.
And the newer characters grew into themselves, and the plot got a lot better. It is.
They let all the new characters shine.
Yeah, they
instead
did.
of
They
forcing
did.
us to just only have the
Johnny
old school.
and
But what a great job making Johnny such a sympathetic character.
Oh, yeah.
truly.
Where you like, I root for him.
Yeah.
I root for him more than I root for Daniel LaRusso. now.
and he's so stuck in the 80s and
Yeah,
90s.
it's
He really is.
hilarious.
Yep.
And everybody has such good chemistry.
Yeah.
All the actors, they just
Yeah.
everybody works together really well.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Great show.
What's your number
Cool.
3?
My next one, I've talked about this show many times before, is Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Nice.
Stemming from the movie The Night Stalker and The Night Strangler. They were going to make a third movie, but instead it became a TV show, Kolchak, and I've talked about it. Another Monster of the Week show. Darren McGavin's friggin' amazing in this show. I have a lot of it. It's the X-Files.
Were those
before
movies
the X-Files.
Television film?
They
were.
for TV
Okay.
movies. Yeah. And I mean, Darren McGavin's pre-Fox Mulder. Everything is pre-X-Files, but you can see, you know where it's going. And I absolutely love monsters, and the Monster of the Week, rarely disappointed. It's just a lot of fun.
Were the TV movies made by the same guy that did the Dark Shadows?
Yes,
It was.
Dan Curtis.
Dan Curtis,
Yeah.
okay.
Dean will be pleased that I remember that. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, Derek?
Well, I'm going to go with Snowpiercer.
Oh, fucking Snowpiercer.
Oh, I forgot about Snowpiercer. Man.
Snowpiercer is awesome.
It is awesome.
Graphic novel turned into a movie, turned into a show.
yeah.
Fucking Snowpiercer.
Yep.
Good pick.
I mean, the movie's awesome. Chris Evans is great, but
Mm-hmm.
I like and Tilda Swinton. But the series itself.
Yeah.
With you get Jennifer Connelly, which obviously I love that.
Mm-hmm.
David Diggs is awesome on it. Obviously, the man himself, Mr. Always Dies.
Sean Bean.
Sean Bean.
Yeah.
I think it was a better medium to tell the story to begin with, because the movie was very everything was jammed into that, and you really couldn't explore the stuff that they've done on the show.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I love that show, and it's one of those shows. I struggle with the category like this because every movie that I've ever loved that they were like, I'm gonna make a show, and then you see the show. When you're a kid, you're just like, oh, they couldn't get the actor to play themselves.
Yeah,
Fuck this.
Yep.
Right, and it's
I
just
remember
a
that
little
too.
bit different, and you're like, this isn't the same. Right?
Yeah.
But that show, that was one of those shows. I was like, man, I really like the movie. But then the show, I was like, this is a great cast, and I really like the way, the direction they went with it.
Definitely.
Based off of, there's no surprise with the little kids with their arms and the thing. So I like the way they went. Great show.
Really good. I'm going with Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Nice.
Oh, I didn't even think about
it. It was
that.
on
Holy shit.
Stars, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it ran for 3 seasons, and it picked up 30 years after Army of Darkness. Thank you. I kept wanting to say Evil Dead 3, but it was the same thing.
Close enough.
It was fantastic. You had Ash picking up where he left off, basically. The Evil Dead arrive in his town, and he has to rely on his 2 new sidekicks, who are great. I forget the names of the guy and the girl that play his younger sidekicks.
Pablo and why can't I remember the girl's
I like
name?
that girl. She's
me too.
She's awesome.
Pablo was great, too, with his eraser head hair.
Yep.
Samara Weaving's on that show, right?
She was.
She was on the first season?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, tons of guest stars.
Yeah, Lucy Lawless shows up.
Mimi Rogers plays the girl's mom in the episode. Oh, man.
Yep. Lee Majors shows up as his dad.
Oh, it's so good, too.
Yeah.
He was on Xena, right?
Who?
Bruce Campbell?
What?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, he was on Hercules. He was like, he was like.
Oh, well, he was the trader guy, wasn't he?
Jack of all trades.
Well,
he
he
that
played
was a
Jack of all
spin-off.
trades.
Yeah, they
but-
did the spin-off of that.
But no,
character.
he played like a peddler guy, wasn't he? Like a merchant kind of.
Yeah. But I think he did both shows.
Did he show up in both shows?
Because it was the
I
same
think so
universe,
because there were a lot of crossovers.
And they were both produced by Robert Tapert and Sam Raimi too. So
Yeah.
so it makes sense.
The Briscoe County Jr. crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, I love that show.
Another great show.
That
Yeah.
should have been a movie.
That's a
Yes.
great series. I didn't even think of that one.
Oh, fucker. I'm sorry. I was trying to.
No, that's okay.
It keeps coming back to me,
Yeah,
and I'm
go
just
ahead,
like, I
Tito.
want to look this thing up that Brian's talking about. My number 1 is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I had a feeling.
This is a show, another one of those shows where I was like, damn, they didn't get Chrissy Swanson?
Mm-hmm.
Or there's no Donald Sutherland character.
Yep.
Right.
There is. There's
Yeah.
But it's not
Giles,
Donald
But
Sutherland.
it's not him, and there's no... I really like the character of Angel, and I also really liked Spike a lot, but I wanted Pike to be in the show. I wanted the Dylan... I was going to call him Dylan Perry. Luke Perry character. Dylan McKay to be on the show, but it's completely different from the original. I know it's more in line with what Joss Whedon wanted, and it was really, really fun to watch, and I loved Angel as well. It was a good show. I still prefer the movie, but it's a great show, and it launched
See, I prefer
Sarah
the show
Michelle.
to the movie.
I thought I love the show. There's a lot of really awesome people in it, but I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
I do. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, Joss Whedon.
Don't you blaspheme in here. Don't you blaspheme in here.
So maybe I'm in the minority.
Maybe.
Christy wouldn't let me touch her.
Yeah, maybe. It's so dumb and funny. It's so dumb. Grueler, remember you got drunk
Paul
and looged
Rubens
all over
and-
my mom? I just think it's so funny. It's just funny. It's a funny movie.
It's got an awesome cast.
Great cast.
Yep. Pee-wee.
All right, Paul Rubens. That's what
Yeah.
that's when
Rubens.
I figured out what his actual name
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Right.
I was waiting for Pee Wee Herman in the
And
credits.
Rucker
Yeah.
Hall, right?
Rutger
Is-
Hauer,
is
yeah.
the-
That's right.
Lothos.
Yeah.
So awesome.
That's a great name.
Lothos. Yeah. What's the Arquette? David.
David.
David Arquette's
Yep.
his buddy.
Yep. Pike's
You're
buddy.
floating. That's a good scene too. That's mine.
Awesome. Mine is Batman the Animated Series. First and foremost, it's animated, but
Mm-hmm.
it goes beyond any cartoon.
That's a good one.
Stemming from the '89 movie, so I figured this counted, even though it was technically
I'm gonna
a TV
agree,
show before.
especially since the scores are exactly the
Yeah.
same.
Yes,
Pretty much,
It's the
yeah.
same.
Like,
It's the
I
movie.
feel
yeah.
like it's based
I'll
on
take
the
it.
movie. They called Joker Jack Napier in one episode, so
Yeah.
I'm saying this comes from that movie for sure. The Penguin has the similar design with the flippers, so we've talked about it many times. I don't need to go into it. It's the best. It remains to me anyway the best version of Batman, and has yet to be topped, live action or otherwise. It's still the greatest.
You're not alone.
Thing, Batman.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
mine.
Fantastic show.
Nice. Good pick. Cobra Kai was my number 1, so I'm going to bump up my number 2, which was Westworld. I am a big Westworld fan, and they have. I was going to say that while Westworld kind of had hits and misses, Cobra Kai did one better and makes every episode and every season good. But even with its lesser, weaker seasons and episodes, Westworld's still an awesome story. Nothing beats the first season for me. I loved the
First
whole
season's awesome.
the actual the West in Westworld.
It's tough. Like that's such a big reveal. How do you go, where do you go from there?
Right.
Yeah.
But awesome cast. There's so many good actors that like really blew up after being in that show that I'm really thankful that the show gave us. And it's based on
What season is the Aaron Paul season?
2, I think, right?
no,
No.
3.
Three?
3 and 4 are the Aaron Paul ones.
I think I get
Yeah.
every time I try to watch season 3, I think I get 3 episodes in, and then I stop.
Yeah.
And then I don't watch it, and then I go back, and I'm like, I don't even remember. I got to rewatch the
2 is when they go to the other parks.
Uh-huh.
They go to the Shogun World.
Yeah.
And you end up like the what's her name? The girl that was Valkyrie.
Oh, Tessa Thompson.
Oh, yeah.
Tessa
Yeah,
Thompson.
yeah.
She's revealed as Dolores. But then the 3rd and 4th seasons, they're out in the real world, and and you see what kind of world is out there, which is, I liked the concept. I always just missed and pined for the Old West thing, because that show really gave birth to my love of the West. Like I never really got too into westerns, and that when that show came out. And then I started playing Red Dead Redemption. I was just like, I fucking love the West. I wish I was in the Old West.
Yeah.
Is that Yul Brenner?
Yeah.
It was.
Right?
The original
I think
movies.
I saw that
was-
movie once, I
Runner.
think.
The original movies were
James
done by Michael
Brolin.
Crichton.
Oh,
Yeah.
were they?
Yeah,
Michael
he wrote
Crichton
the book.
stories.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's the
okay.
pre-Jurassic
Yeah, Westworld
Park.
and Future
Yeah,
World.
which is why I was waiting for them when they went to other parks. That one of them would be Jurassic
Right.
Park because there's the Michael Crichton tie-in.
Right.
That would have been cool.
Oh,
Totally.
I was like, hey, this just got a whole lot better.
Yep.
Dick Van Patten's in that movie.
In Jurassic Park.
No.
I guarantee
Westworld.
In
it.
Westworld, yeah.
Westworld. He should have been in
Kick a
Jurassic
car,
Park.
Dick Van Patten.
Shoot him.
8 is enough.
So I'm going with MASH. MASH was
nice.
Yep,
Yeah, I
MASH.
forgot
A lot
that
of
was a
people forget that it was originally a movie. I think it was a
Robert
Robert Altman. Yep.
Robert Ullman.
And I just absolutely loved the TV show growing up. My dad and my mom watched it I think it was Monday or Wednesday night. I forget what it was, but glued to the TV. And then when it was in reruns, that was when I really got into it, when I was a little bit older. And it was just a funny, funny show.
Was the movie funny, or was it more
It was
serious?
a real dark humor.
Okay.
It was really dark. It had its funny moments, but...
The show had some dark moments, too.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that's-
but the show was more light than dark, where the movie was the opposite. It was just a great show, great cast, and it ran for almost ever when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know,
It was on for a
seriously,
long time.
I was like 5 years old, I think, when it started, and I was probably 15, and I was in high school when it ended, you know? It's like... So, yeah, I just loved MASH, and it'll always stick with me.
Yeah, there were a few that like I had seen the movie but never saw the show, or I'd seen the show but never saw the movie.
Yeah,
so
I got
felt
to see the movie a
I
lot
couldn't
later.
put it on my list.
First time I saw it, I didn't really like it because it was so different from the show that I saw first.
Yeah,
You know, but
I watched the show in reruns.
Did they
Yeah.
keep any of the
But I never saw
characters?
the-
No,
No.
well, yes, the characters were the same, but again, like
Different actors.
Yes,
The actors,
I think Radar was the only one, or yes, because Loretta Swit played Hot Lips, and Sally Kellerman played her in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Elliot Gould is in
Hawkeye,
the-
Elliot Gould. You're right.
is in the
It was
movie.
Elliot Gould.
Who's the other? I can look it up.
Yeah, but anyway,
Cool.
it was good.
Runners up.
What's your? Oh yeah. Well,
You know,
Oh,
I
is
didn't
that at
have
the
it.
end?
I didn't have.
Oh, I
any
thought he was
runners
the
up.
first.
He was
Donald
the first,
Sutherland was Hawkeye.
and that was he's already done his number one.
Oh, that's
Gould
right.
was
Okay,
Trout.
yeah.
We are. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We're
It was Donald Sutherland.
was
Okay.
Hawkeye,
Okay.
and Elliot Gould was trapped. I didn't have any runners up.
Oh, I had a ton of them because I didn't know what you guys were picking, and you guys picked a lot of the stuff. So
I'll spitfire some. Freddy's Nightmares, The Real Ghostbusters, Chucky, and Hogan's Heroes.
Nice. Hogan's Heroes
is from a movie called Stalag 17.
Yeah, I thought it was 13, but you're right.
Stalag 13, or I thought it was 17.
It could be 17.
I watched it with my dad. Otto Preminger film that had the radar, not the radar character, had the Schultz character. It was a different actor, but it was the same kind of thing.
Stalag? S-T-A-L-A-G?
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, it was 17.
Okay.
Yeah, Stalag 17.
So my dad showed me the movie after the show, and like you, it took me a couple of watches to appreciate the film. But I watched the show with my dad all the time.
Exterminate.
How about you there, Peggy Sue?
Police Academy, Parenthood, Chucky, Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which I loved growing up.
Was that Sean Patrick Flannery?
Sean
Patrick, yeah, we talked about this.
Right, we mentioned it the other day.
Yeah, because I started rewatching it.
Right, it's really good. And Scream.
River Phoenix.
Scream is surprisingly good, but the first season was really good. I liked it a lot.
All right, so I've got Bates Motel.
Oh, I forgot about Bates Motel.
I picked Buffy and Cobra Kai. Fargo. I picked Logan's Run, which was the one as a kid that I was disappointed didn't have the characters from the movie in the show.
Yeah, right.
Planet of the Apes, the 1974 series, only ran for one season, but I loved it. Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles. Tremors, the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. The Dead Zone with, remember that? It ran on USA. Anthony Michael Hall. It ran for like 6 or 7 seasons.
Yeah.
Westworld, and of course, What We Do in the Shadows, and Teen Wolf on MTV.
I never watched it.
I watched it through osmosis. My wife loved it.
Yeah.
So I caught it here and there.
Yeah.
But it was very popular. And they just,
It's in my queue. It's in my queue.
They just came out with
Paramount.
a movie based on it. So it was a movie, then a show, now another movie.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I remember them doing a lot of press for that.
Yep.
Was it like a year ago? 2
Yeah,
years ago,
no, not even. I think it was like 6 months to a year
recently?
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a Chubbs on the show?
Yeah. He just hits hook shots.
Yeah.
That's all he does.
Yeah.
All
watch
They play lacrosse on the show.
Fuck it.
He just hits hook shots all episode.
No
lacrosse
Chubbs.
style.
No Chubbs. No point.
No, but there is a Styles.
There's a Styles.
It's a pretty good big actor, right?
Oh,
He
the
is
kid
now.
from Love and Monsters.
Yes,
Right,
exactly.
right.
Yeah.
Better than the
Which
one
is
from
why my
Teen
wife
Wolf
wanted to
2?
watch that
But
movie.
but he didn't show up in the movie, right?
Who?
I heard he didn't come back for the movie.
He did not come
No,
back
I don't
for
think he
the
did.
movie.
Okay.
So those were my runners-up.
Nice.
Nice. All right. Awesome. Awesome
Good picks,
appetizers,
guys.
everybody. Shall we get to the main course?
Let's do it.
Let's do
The
it.
main course.
Peter, wake up. Okay. I got you this chicken.
We've often talked about horror comedies on the show. What makes a horror comedy and which film falls into that specific category? The best explanation in the past has been which aisle you would find the movie in. Young Frankenstein, The Burbs, Ghostbusters, and Shaun of the Dead, for example, may have their elements of horror, but are often categorized as comedy, while movies like Reanimator, Return of the Living Dead, and American Werewolf in London, and Bride of Frankenstein have plenty of humor, yet find themselves often in the horror section. In truth, it's all subjective. I've never been bothered by Texas Chainsaw or The Exorcist, but I was traumatized by a Punky Brewster episode, and the most horrific moment in cinema I ever witnessed was the dipping of that shoe in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Terrifying.
The dip.
Then you have What We Do in the Shadows, a movie mostly played for laughs, yet it is drenched in the ambiance of horror and does have more than its fair share of gore and disturbing imagery. Since spanning into a television and, in my opinion, more of a world of comedy, What We Do in the Shadows, the original movie in and of itself, is definitely balancing that line, if there really is a line between comedy and tragedy, or just a man-made way of trying to make some logic out of two separate emotions, laughter and fear, that seem to be really one and the same. Boom, folks.
That's deep.
It is deep. And it's true in everything. Like, it's amazing how horror and comedy are just always in bed together.
Oh my.
But there's always this debate. There's always this debate which and where it belongs in whatever category, and sometimes it's hard to do. But with this one,
I think you should just spend less time trying to categorize something and just
enjoy
enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah,
right,
Exactly.
Tito.
Opening thoughts.
Opening thoughts.
This is a fun-ass movie. I remember seeing a trailer for it, and I was a huge fan. Me and my wife both were of Flight of the Conchords. We used to watch it all the time on HBO.
Yep.
And I remember seeing a trailer and thinking, oh, the Flight of the Concorde guys made a movie because Jemaine Clement was in it. I don't remember the other dude's name.
Taika Waititi?
No, the other one. Brett something.
Brett. His name is definitely Brett. I don't remember his last name.
McNeil? No.
So when this came out, I was like, oh, they made a movie. I had no knowledge of Taika Waititi at the time, but I was excited to see the film. And me and my wife watched it. I think we saw it in the theaters, and it's just a hilarious movie. And it's a lot of fun. It's a really great take on, especially someone like myself. I grew up watching The Real World, Road Rules, shows like that. So it's just this really fun take on reality TV and having roommates. And I wish, honestly, they would do more things like this. Like zombies living in a house together, whatever. Chauffeurs living in a house together. Make a movie about people living in a house together, and I'll see that shit, especially if it's weird.
You ever see Being Human?
Yes. So
They
I
have
didn't
a
watch
British
the British
version,
version. I watched the
and the
American
American
version.
version,
But it was too dark. I would like something like this.
A little bit more comedic.
There's a cartoon that's kind of similar. This guy's a social worker, and his roommate's a zombie. The social worker group is all acclimating different mutants and monsters into society, and it's run by demons. I forget what the hell it's called.
I don't know this.
It was on.
I feel like I should, but I don't.
Comedy Central. Was it? I think
Cartoon Network?
No, I actually think
Ugly
it was
Americans.
Ugly Americans. Yes, that's the one.
Huh.
Love it.
Haven't seen it. Sounds good.
You would like
check
it.
that out.
You would definitely like it.
No, baby, you dig it the most.
Yeah, same. This movie is fantastic. Loved it when I first saw it. It's one I can watch again and again, and I just love everything about it. I love the look of the movie. I love the actors. I love the ambiance, and I just love that's the one. I love how the horror and fantastic is just so subtle in the film.
Yeah.
It doesn't really go as far as the TV show too much into the fantasy. It's mixed in there. It's very low key, but when it does come into play, it's very rewarding. It's got some great werewolves within it, so I'm a sucker for that. And
it just makes you feel like this is their life.
Yeah, I love their
world. And
I only knew Taika Waititi from the Green Lantern movie, so I was
Same
like,
here.
it's a dude from the Green
Green.
Lantern. Yeah, that's it. It's a fantastic film. It's a great show, and I'm looking forward to the new one.
Yep. Nice.
New season. I would like another movie too. I love these original guys. I love the new cast of the show. They're fucking fantastic. I love Laszlo.
Because he's my best friend. He's my pal. He's my homeboy. My rotten soldier. He's my sweet cheese. My good time boy.
But these three, there's just something about them. They're so much fun.
And they show up in the series.
They do.
They're on the council.
Vampire Council.
So you never know. I mean, they are alive in this world.
Oh,
It's not a whole separate thing.
But I kind of want to go back and see what they're up to.
Right.
You never know. They just might.
I hope so.
Someday. I do enjoy this movie. I love it. It's a great mockumentary, and I always am a fan of those. And I'm a fan of vampire stuff. But I do kind of prefer the show. I think that the show took stuff from this movie, even like flat out characters, and just kind of upped the ante and made them even better. Because I'm not a fan of Jackie in this movie. I don't like the familiar.
She's on screen for all the 5 minutes though. So
well, yeah,
thankfully.
throughout. But I just kind of I prefer Guillermo. And same thing. They're familiars who have been promised and promised and promised that they'll be turned, and they're desperate to just become vampires.
Yeah.
But
I liked Jackie. I love that she gets people she hates in high school.
Oh, I know.
That's just
yeah.
brilliant.
That's true though, and they
remember when you called me that? No, you did. You did.
Yeah. They go a really great way with Guillermo too.
You're a virgin when you dated me.
Yeah.
He's accidentally good at killing vampires.
The show kind of becomes more about him.
Yeah.
So I think that might be why. I mean, I love Guillermo. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's because it goes so far into that realm of vampire hunters and everything. I'm like, oh, this is really cool, but I'm more a fan of the subtle stuff. And the show, the first two seasons, if it was more like the first two seasons, I probably would agree with you, Derek. But by season 3 and 4, it gets a little too out there for
Yeah,
me.
I mean,
and then you got all these cameos from famous people, like the Kristen Schaal thing. I love Kristen Schaal, but that got old after a while. It's like I liked it more when they were all unknowns because it felt more real. Ergo, the horror and the fantasy part felt more real.
Yeah.
Because at the time, other than recognizing Taika Waititi, I didn't know the Concord show you were talking or anything like that. This was more real to me, and it was cooler.
And I do agree with that. Like I do love the style that they shot it in. I like the fact that Taika Waititi he didn't give full scripts to any of the crew or cast. He basically like let them know the gist of the scene, like where they were going.
Yeah.
But that way you kept the reactions were all authentic.
Yeah.
Because I'm
it's
sure
the Larry David method. That's exactly what he did for Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Because it is. I mean, you try to make something like a reality show, but it's scripted. It's gonna feel scripted. I'll tell you, New Zealand has a lot of talent. Like not even just comedic actors, but serious. There's a lot of serious actors, and that are really great that came from New Zealand. But they have a ton of funny people, and thankfully this movie really kind of put a lot of people out there that are now household names. Taika for one. I had never heard of him. I didn't know really of any of them. Rice Darby, didn't know him. I recognized Jemaine Clement from Flight of the Conchords, but he's like now even he's huge. He's I do like the show a little bit.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's called preference.
I love me some Matt Berry.
I say, Mr. Sinatra, forgive me, my mind's a little foggy, but last time I looked, you weren't Chinese.
It's called preference, Mark.
Sure. I'm not wagging my finger at him. No. You didn't say the proper answer. It's a great show.
And I do like that. Like Wellington Circle. I mean, Wellington Paranormal definitely keeps. It's more.
With Officer O'Leary and Officer Minogue.
That show
from the
feels
show,
more like
movie.
the movie.
Yeah,
it does.
Like the way that it's
and
shot.
it's really cool going back and watching because I watched this movie today to get ready, and it was great going back to them. It was like a cameo, before a cameo was a thing. It was the thing.
Yeah, there's tons of smoke detectors.
Oh yeah, you're right.
What about you, Brian?
I love this movie since I first saw it. I think it was on Stars or something, and I remember seeing the preview for it, but they didn't really show the trailer. It was kind of just the title, and they said it was a vampire thing. So when it became available to watch, I watched it and immediately fell in love. Like you, I mean, I think we all are fans of mockumentaries. Yeah. I grew up with Spinal Tap. I grew up with the Christopher Guest ones, Best in Show. Yeah. I grew up with the Ruddles, and then this came out, and I was like, and it's vampires, and I'm like, oh, this has me written all over it. And immediately fell in love. Thought it was hilarious, and I loved it. I remember getting the Blu-ray or the DVD as soon as it became available, and getting a copy for my buddy at work saying, "You have to see this. I'm buying you this copy because I know you will love it." Yeah. And I gave it to him for Christmas, and he was an immediate fan too. And we both love the show now. Yeah. And I'm just happy that it's going strong. That it's got the Wellington Paranormal sequel. Or spin-off, and that they were even talking about doing the Werewolves series too, cool. But it still hasn't materialized. Hopefully it will.
I've been hearing about that for a while.
Yeah, they've run into snags.
They take the cliched concept of werewolf versus vampire, and they just do it in this fresh and funny way.
Oh yeah,
it's the way they talk to one another.
Yeah,
throw the stick and one of them runs.
Well, and the timing of it too. Like it came out right after Twilight.
Yeah,
and, and they make fun of it.
They do. With Nick saying, "I'm from Twilight." I'm telling you, stop calling yourself Twilight.
Right.
I hate Nick. Yeah, I freaking hate Nick. I do. Nick. I do. Watching this again, I'm like, God, I hate him.
Yeah, he's the one who causes all the trouble for everybody.
Yeah, but he's just he's probably my least favorite character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, I thought I don't know what it is about him.
And he shows up at Wellington Paranormal.
He does too.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was cool to see him in that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a great
show. I saw a few episodes.
Oh, it's so good.
It's on HBO or HBO Max or Max.
Yeah, and it wasn't hitting for me.
And I love the Chief.
Oh, Maka?
Oh, fuck
yeah.
He's so
Sergeant Maka?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, the original movie from 2014 is fantastic, and anybody out there listening who hasn't seen it, see it because it's well worth a watch. And then come back and listen to this episode because we're going to be spoiling the shit out of it.
It's only an hour and 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Money.
Exactly.
Right in Tito's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Money
Exactly.
in the bank.
Don't have much to lose.
Nothing at all.
We got categories?
Yeah, we do.
All right, let's
get into
let's
it.
rock these
Number
out.
one. All right. My favorite scene is Nick being chased through the house.
Oh, me too.
It's fantastic. You have Jemaine Clement as the cat with the face of Jemaine Clement.
And I love how they set that up beforehand, too, saying like, he used to be so good at doing this, but now he can't do faces anymore.
The scene, the part where, is it Deacon? The arm comes out of the backpack, and he comes out of the backpack, and then
he starts crawling after him.
Yeah,
it was just
amazing.
shot so well.
Yeah, very Evil Dead-ish.
Yeah,
like the whole handheld and like the chaos.
Yeah.
It's seamless. You're like, oh, the hand's coming out.
Is
Oh,
it
the
yours
whole guy's
too?
coming out of
Or
the backpack.
do we all have that scene?
No. Mine's close, but
and
not
then the
good.
three of them basically like looks like they're stuck together, just kind of flying down the hallway. I just absolutely.
And then
love
he
that
finally
scene.
escapes, and
He falls down the stairs.
Oh yeah,
which was great because I don't think they used a stunt guy. It looked like Nick falling down those stairs.
Peter gets
but then he gets out, and and Peter gets out.
Oh, Peter got him.
And then he goes,
Poor
"Oh,
guy.
poor guy."
They tried to kill him and eat him.
And then even more in the background, you hear somebody go, "Who let Peter out?"
Yeah. Who let Peter out? Oh, I love Peter. That makeup job is incredible.
Oh, it really is.
Yeah.
Peter,
it's the best Nosferatu since Nosferatu.
Great scene.
Agreed. Mine is the Baschetti scene because it's a tribute to Lost Boys, which I love. But it's just
So this is my favorite trick. We present our guest with a plate of Baschetti, and then I will say, "Why don't you eat some Baschetti? Please, Nick, eat some Baschetti." I didn't realize you enjoyed eating worms, Nick.
No.
They are worms.
There's worms wiggling around on my plate.
It's worm-like, but not actually worm.
We stole that idea from the Lost Boys.
the reaction's hilarious. That whole scene at the table with them plays out great. Does it feel to have a snake for a penis?
Yeah.
Like that's just
Oh, my penis is gone.
Yeah.
My penis is a cobra. No one's going to mistake your penis for a cobra, Nick.
What's her name says
Jackie.
that. Yeah.
Believe you me, no one's going to be mistaking your penis for a cobra.
And I love the werewolf encounter when they first encounter the werewolf because I was like, oh, there's no way they're going to show these guys change into werewolves. And then they did, and they were impressive. But I like how you see the glow in their eyes when they start snarling. That first encounter between the two of them
I
is
love
fantastic.
that noise they make when they start to change and they twitch.
And what's his name? The alpha male. They're just yelling at us.
yeah.
Oh, what, dude? You wear your stretch pants, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I
you
love
can't wear jeans. Well, it was laundry day. My stretch
yeah.
pants still had blood on them from the last time.
I love how the whole thing is like a bunch of guys and people just showed up to play a game of baseball or something, and they're wearing the wrong colors or something. Like, you wore the wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's like the werewolves are so practical, you know? You can't, you know how big you get. There's a small tree. You got to find yourself a bigger tree, Bobby.
Yep. You're going to break right out of those.
And then he's chastising the other guy for breaking a combination lock. And well, I lost the key last time.
Yeah.
It really humanizes the
we don't
monster,
sniff
doesn't
our
it?
own crotches. We sniff others' crotches. Thank you.
Yeah, you're not helping.
No, but just go over there. Oh, yeah. So those are mine.
Mine was the chase scene. I love the see me scene.
Oh, the see me scene.
Oh, yeah.
Which you also, in that scene, that's when you get the like precursor with the animals and him not being able to do faces.
Yeah.
And I even just like the very beginning of the movie just really sets the tone. Right? You know, with Viago.
Yeah.
Getting out, like hitting the snooze button, and he gets up and he's waking everybody up, and you kind of get like that's your intro to everybody.
Yeah.
And then they have the meeting. And, like vampires don't do dishes.
Yeah.
And, I love it.
Yeah. You got blood all over my
It's a mess.
couch.
Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a spine.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a spine here. I got you this chicken.
Yeah.
Peter's 2,000 years old. He's not coming to the meeting.
You got blood all over my couch. What, the red one? Well, it's red now. We're vampires. We don't put down dolls.
Some vampires do.
It is a good intro to each character.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you got a good feel for
I love,
in the closet.
I can't say his name, Jemaine Clement's entrance. He opens up the door. It's like a Dracula
Vladislav
orgy.
the poker.
Yeah, and then he opens it up. What?
Yeah.
What time is it?
Yeah.
Orgy on
We're
the
having,
ceiling.
yeah. We're having a flat meeting in 10 minutes. Make it 20. I love the chase scene too. There's just so many great scenes. I think, I forgot just how great the werewolf scene is. Yeah. Anything with Stu. It was great.
When Nick wipes his mind and he's sitting there, he's like, you do not hear me, and he's talking about how much he'd like to turn him into a vampire.
I just want to eat him.
Yeah.
But
He's just kind of standing there, just
you don't eat him.
Yeah.
Can't eat your mate.
It's tough to pick my favorite scene because there's just so much that makes me laugh through this whole thing.
Least favorite scene. I really don't like when they kill Stu. I don't like that Stu comes back as a werewolf.
Oh, really?
I would have liked him to have just been a human forever.
Huh.
Because I think
I
that's
could
like
see that.
the funnest part about him. Is just him
He's just a
introducing
human.
them. Like, he's such a regular guy that like nobody would ever give a shit about.
Yeah.
But to them, he's the coolest, and he's introducing them to
the internet,
television.
Yeah,
And,
exactly. All the technology.
We could poker. And then, like, what?
Yeah.
I just think it's so funny how much they love him. And
Yeah.
the scene when they're at the party, how willing they are to like keep him alive and fight off all those other monsters.
Yeah.
Right.
When he dies. So, I mean, the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, fuck, they killed him. And then he comes back as the werewolf, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of would rather either he stay dead or never have died at all. Because I just like how he's just there. That's what I thought Colin Robinson was going to be.
Yeah.
And I think Colin Robinson is a hilarious character.
I think
he is.
him and Laszlo, I think, are the best parts of that
They're
show.
I
very
agree.
funny.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think Colin Robinson is fucking hysterical, but I thought Colin Robinson was going to be like the Stewart character. And I just think the Stewart, it bums me out when he dies.
I get that. I do. Although I like that he's able to bring the werewolves in. And
They all become kind of
there's
buddies.
that
Yeah.
nice connection, and he's kind of the bridge for the two of them.
Yeah.
And I thought, maybe there's going to be more story, more movies.
Did you
out of
knit that jumper?
Yeah.
Yes, I knit. Is that the moon? We'll try not to change that.
Try not to pee on anything. My least favorite scene is when Peter dies. I love that makeup. I love that character. I wish they did more with him.
Yeah.
You didn't have to do a lot because he was just so cool looking. He could, and he did just sit there.
Yeah.
And you couldn't take your eyes off of him. But it was funny when people were talking to him like a regular person. And even though he
there's
is
a part
this
where is it
ghastly,
Nick
it's Nick talking to him
about Stu, and he's just like
and he's just
nodding his head like,
Right.
"Oh, I agree."
Yeah,
Yeah.
or when
I
Deacon's
like Stu
sitting
too.
with him, Peter is the one.
Yeah.
And Peter's
But he
just
also
sitting
looked
there
like he
nodding.
was bored and indifferent at the same time.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I just feel like he could have done more with it.
Oh, I agree.
And I feel like it was such a waste of a great character. And
Yeah.
I love that makeup job.
Yeah,
And I'm probably
no.
biased because I love Nosferatu.
Yeah.
But I thought, that's kind of a bummer. Like I would have
It
liked
was.
to have seen him because
How
in
much
all
further?
the stills and all the pictures, they're all together hanging out, and he's just stands out so much.
Yeah.
It's so comical, but so fun to see him.
Yeah.
Against the backdrop of everybody
They're all
else.
era
that looks very-
appropriate.
Yeah.
They're all except for him in every
Yeah,
picture.
he stands out.
Never changes.
But
his
they
clothes.
treat him like one of their own.
Yeah,
which makes
right,
it
right,
funny.
right.
Yeah.
It's true.
Derek.
I don't really have any that I didn't like or that bug me because it's a fun movie. I don't like that Jackie has a family.
You don't like him familiar with the family.
I don't like that she has like a husband and kids.
Guillermo has a family?
Yeah, but he not a wife,
Jackie.
Not a
kids.
wife, no, but he's got a mom.
But
and
who cares? Like,
Yeah, it's a
okay.
mom.
eventually you got to move out of your house, and some people like move far away from their parents. That's
I get it. It's
He-
like a
he's
career.
Puerto
like,
Rican. They don't do that.
Like she's
Right? Am I?
I mean, I don't live with my family.
Big families, they just can't get away from them.
It's true, multi-generational families. That's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
That's the right way to do it.
True.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't like that. Like, make her a single woman who wants to be a vampire. Don't.
Yeah.
Oh no, I like that. Like the
fact that
her
she
life
has-
is so shitty that she's like, get me away from this
Yeah.
family.
Maybe
And-
if they
and then
turned
she-
into a vampire,
And then she's talking to her husband later, like, I love you, but I'm your master
Yeah,
now. Oh, yeah. And he's
right,
like,
right,
yes,
right.
yes.
I would feel that way if the kids were older. I
Oh,
think
I see what
I
you're
think if
saying.
the kids weren't so young,
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, she's
Oh, well,
had
then
enough
there's
of
like,
life.
you
These
feel
kids
bad
are
for
fucking
those
terrible,
kids.
Yeah.
like
Alright,
little
I can-
shits. But
You're looking at it from a parent's
Yeah.
point
Yeah.
of
I
view.
guess.
Yeah,
Okay.
but mommy's never going to go away. So
Well, Right.
Well, steak through the heart, sunlight.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Garlic. I don't know if they address garlic in this one. Probably not.
I don't think there is.
Do they have to invite her into their room to say goodnight every night now?
No, it's because it's
No,
in the
I
house.
think
No,
it's
just
her
once.
In the
house.
house. So just in the house?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it would only be once.
Yeah.
It's
Because
not
And
like
if
feel
it's
like
her
she'd be a
house,
pain
if
in
her
the
name's
ass.
on the deed, I don't think she has to be
That's
invited
true.
in.
Mommy,
Sure, she owns it.
Mommy, can we go to Chuck E. Cheese? Well, I haven't been invited yet. So.
That's the fucking ultimate slap in the face. If you were a vampire and you walked into your own house and you had to be invited into
Yeah.
your
That
child's
is.
room,
That's the greatest rule.
I would be
We've
like,
talked
this
about
is,
it.
it's the greatest rule, but still like,
But it's a pain
Well,
in
didn't
the
they-
ass.
you're a kid. This is my goddamn house.
Right.
I don't get invited into any room. If anything, you get invited into
Tito,
my
was
room.
it on Buffy the Vampire Slayer that they renounced that? They told somebody that they
Oh, you
weren't
can
invited
take it
anymore?
back.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Spike gets sucked out of the house.
Yeah,
I love
remember that?
shit.
Yeah, I thought it was
I
Buffy.
love it. They take
Yeah.
it back, and then Spike
Yeah.
gets like thrown
You are
out
no
of the
longer
house.
welcome in my house.
They
And he goes
did that
flying
in,
out the front
they
door.
did that in
Yeah,
the
I
fucking
love that
Fright
shit.
Night remake.
Did they really?
I think
Yeah.
they did
Yeah.
it in that.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, bullshit.
You don't like it?
No, sir, I don't like it.
No,
I think
I
that's-
don't like
I don't
that.
think they did that on the Fright Night.
I
Did
think
Are you
they
sure?
did because I've never seen. I very rarely
I've
watched.
seen it more
Buffy
than
the
once.
show.
I don't remember that.
And I remember
We'll
thinking
look it up
that's
later.
a fucking stupid rule. And yeah,
We'll watch Fright Night 2 later tonight.
no, let's not do the
Again.
Fright Night remake. Let's not watch the
You got a
remake.
scene you
liked
don't
it.
like?
The remake?
Yeah, you liked it.
I liked Imogen Poots. That's about it.
Oh, she wasn't that.
was
yeah.
nice.
I like Imogen
She was a sexier Amy. I will say the
Something
story.
about her
Amanda.
bangs.
She's just
Yeah, her
awful.
teeth.
I like her
Something about
bangs and her,
messed up.
her
Yeah.
turned up nose. I like
Yeah.
it. I like it all.
I'm with you. What was the show? Outer Range that we talked about? She's in that.
Is she in that?
Yeah.
Is that the?
The
The
James
one with
Brolin.
I
Josh
haven't
Brolin.
seen that
Josh Brolin,
show.
sorry.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Sorry. Did
Brian,
I-
what's your least favorite?
If
you
I had
have
to
least?
pick one, I think it would be like when they go out on the town with Nick.
Yeah.
And Nick is just being an asshole,
Yeah.
and you know,
Getting them all into clubs
He's
and-
he's like just getting in everybody's faces, yelling that he's a vampire, just showing
and
off.
Deacon just hates it.
And Deacon hates it because he wants to be the young bad boy. He was the young bad boy until
Right.
Nick came along.
Right.
And
When you're a vampire,
he's getting
you
on
become
everybody's
very
nerves, and
sexy.
he's getting in everybody's faces, and that's the part I hate because it leads up to Peter's
death.
destruction because
Yeah.
he makes the mistake of telling a vampire hunter that he's a vampire, and then when the guy says he's a hunter, he doesn't believe him. He laughs it off,
Yeah.
and then later on, the guy shows up at the house
Yeah.
and kills Peter. So if I had to pick a scene, that would be my least favorite scene.
I like that dynamic too with Deacon and Nick because it's very. He's based on like his like vampire style is kind of like Lost Boys.
Yeah.
People that are fans of those '80s vampire movies absolutely hate the Twilight era shit that we've been shoveled.
Right. And Nick represents the
right.
Twilight
Yeah.
So
people.
it's very cool dynamic.
Yeah,
So
I like how each of the
that's what I figured.
each of the vampires represents a different vampire
Right,
through
yeah.
like
Right,
vampire lore.
right.
You have Peter as the Nosferatu.
Yeah.
You've got Vladislav as
as Dracula.
as Dracula,
Oldman
but as the Gary Oldman
Gary Oldman.
Dracula.
Oh, and there's a Viago's like Lestat. Are we thinking?
Yeah,
That's what I always
exactly.
thought.
He
Yeah,
is.
It's like
Yep.
an Anne Rice vampire.
Yes, he is.
Right, like a
he's
foppish
interview with
kind
a
of-
vampire, and
Well, I would think Nick is more Lost Boys. Is that
No,
the
Deacon is the
comparison?
Lost
No,
Boys.
Deacon.
I always thought
Yeah.
Deacon because
Deacon
Deacon
even does that
the
trick,
trick.
and he mentions.
And
Yeah.
when you first see him, he's
says-
hanging upside down, Kiefer Sutherland style.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the
in
closet.
the closet.
Yeah.
So I always thought he was meant to be the
He
Lost
is.
Boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I almost feel like if it's done this way,
and Nick is the
I think
Twilight.
it's genius. I would think that Deacon is mad that Nick is in fact the Lost Boys vampire, and he is not, and maybe that's why it bugs him so
Yeah.
much.
Maybe.
Because he's kind of dated, like he's wearing fur coats.
Well,
Yeah.
because for a while,
Yeah,
You know,
he-
like
which
he's wearing
pisses
fur
off the
coats.
werewolves
well, that's
later.
the thing is
Yeah.
that for a while, Lost Boys was the new school vampire.
Yeah.
And now, there's a new era.
Yeah.
He's kind of holding on to that
Yeah.
bygone
Right.
style of.
Mm-hmm.
Just like all of us
He's a
old
funny
people that
character,
trash all the horrible new vampire stuff.
Well, most of it is bad. I mean, let's
Yeah.
face it. Not all of it, but
No,
most of it is. Most of
There are
anything.
some new ones that are good.
Get off my lawn.
Renfield.
Yeah. Renfield.
Get off
Renfield
my
was
lawn.
very
Underworld.
I like the
Underworld was
Underworld
good.
movies.
Mm.
Yeah. Twilight, New Moon. You ever see the last Twilight movie?
No.
I haven't seen any of them.
With
This
the
is
baby?
first.
There's a fucking fight at the end of the last Twilight movie that is sick. Just watch the fight.
Okay.
Google Twilight fight at the end of
I
the
feel
movie.
like you've said this.
They're like
before.
ripping heads
Yes.
off. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I took somebody to a movie once I was working. I needed to kill some time. We went to a movie that was the only thing playing. I was like, fuck it, we're doing it.
Cool.
$2.50. Here we
Were
go.
you completely lost?
Yeah, I didn't know what was. I was like, they have kids. I don't know where did these werewolves come from. Because I saw the first one.
Me too.
I was very excited, and I saw it, and I was like, wow, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Way to ruin my life.
Yeah.
And then I never watched any of them.
Yeah.
Siobhan's payback for me dragging her to Electra.
Oh, really?
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, that serves you right,
funny.
man.
I saw that with Electra with my wife. She wanted to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing
I'm with
it
you, Siobhan. Good job.
with my wife, and I don't even know if we were married at the time. I don't know what year Twilight came out, the first one, but I remember leaving it, and the only thing I remember liking about it was Anna Kendrick. I'm like, the best friend, the mousy best friend in the background has more chemistry than the fucking lead woman that's supposed to be in love with this vampire.
She can't close her mouth.
Oh,
Kristen Stewart, there's not one scene where her mouth is closed. And I don't mean talking. I mean, it just hangs open.
She's baffled.
She's baffled.
And ever since then, I was like, oh my God, she's cute as hell, this Anna Kendrick chick.
Oh, I love Anna Kendrick.
And oh my God, yeah.
Riff Tracks fans, there's a Riff Tracks Twilight. Check it out.
They
riffed the first movie. It's hilarious.
Nice.
I don't want to spend any more time on Twilight.
Yeah, let's not.
Way too much time on this already.
What would I change? Who would I change? I said it earlier. I don't want to see Stu die, and I don't want to see him become a werewolf. I still think this movie's really, really good. Well, if you keep it that way, but if you changed it and he just stayed a human forever, and you made like 3 more with him just being a human, I think that would be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my only kind of gripe with it.
Yeah, I'm going back to Don't Kill Peter. I would change that.
Don't kill people we like.
Yeah, don't kill people. That was such a incredible makeup job. I can't say enough about how cool he looked. And
He did look really cool.
And there could have been more funny
you
scenes.
You want to see his story. You want to see his movie.
I do want to see his story.
I want to see like a makeover scene with like Stuart making over Peter and them having a great time together.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Have them watching, like, I don't know,
they get hooked
bachelor
on like
party or something.
SVU.
You know?
They get hooked on SVU.
They get hooked on SVU.
Every Wednesday they watch it together.
What's his name from Resident Alien? Picks up the world from Law and Order. That's what I want to see. I want to see Peter and Stu watching Law and Order SVU.
I can't. It's Wednesday. I got to go hang out with Peter. We're watching SVU. We never miss an episode.
And then you just cut. There's my. You know what? I didn't have an after credit scene, but there it is.
Anytime someone talks, Peter's just like, like hissing at him.
Yeah, they have fun with the theme song. Doom doom.
Watching Family Guy and saying, "Oh, this day's Peter and he's Stewie."
And they high five.
High five, Peter.
What's yours, Derek?
Jackie. I'm gonna go back to Jackie. I get that they need a familiar. I just wish it had been someone else. I just don't like.
Now, what do you say if we form a new club and call it the He-Man Woman Haters Club?
I don't know. It left a bad taste in my mouth.
Jackie.
I think that they perfected it with Guillermo. So, thank you for making it better.
So they did as you wished.
They did.
Okay.
They did as I wished.
All right.
That's fair.
Cool.
All right. I wouldn't introduce Nick as a vampire.
Yeah.
I would have just had him be killed, eventually become food, and not have Peter turn him, because you wouldn't get all that
but then you
garbage.
Wouldn't get Stu.
No, you might get Stu. You might get Stu. He could come looking for,
Stu.
I heard my friend was here the other night.
Oh, that's true.
See, and
That's
they make
true.
friends with him.
Right.
Oh, who are you? Come on in. And then they end up
kill
liking
him.
him.
So is Nick your least favorite character as
Nick
well?
is my least favorite character, I think. And if Nick was never turned into a vampire, he wouldn't go out on that my least favorite scene. He wouldn't reveal himself to the hunter, and Peter would still be alive.
Yeah.
His fault.
And then you would have more time to focus on the core group.
Yeah.
With more Peter than Nick.
Whose fault it is Peter dies?
It is.
It's Peter's fault that Peter dies.
No.
He turns Nick.
He's 8,000.
Well, yeah. Yeah, he
true.
did.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. He did.
Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage,
It should have been like, poor us.
Peter Dinklage, Peter Dinklage.
I can't sing the rest of the song. I might offend some people.
There's more. That's an actual song.
Well, we made up an actual song.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, there you go.
Ding, 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 ding.
Next.
Things that
That's from the original paragraph.
Things that don't work today, it all works for me.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with anything in this movie.
Yeah.
Nothing's absurd. I mean, it's absurd. It's a fucking vampire mockumentary.
Exactly.
But it all fucking works. It's all funny. my gripes are little gripes. There's nothing really wrong with
Yeah,
this
same
movie.
here.
I can't think of anything.
Yeah.
Derek?
I put not applicable, but I said it's working very well today on FX. 5 seasons, can't be wrong. But there's one thing that doesn't really work logically, which is that the vampires are even able to be on camera at all.
Oh, they take pictures and stuff. Yeah,
You know, and, and they've got all those photos.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, but.
Yeah,
but that's
that's a great scene too when they're getting dressed up for the
Right.
first time we see them going out on the town, and they say how it's really tough being a vampire and going out because you can't see your reflection in the mirror, so they're drawing pictures of each other and they're holding up the
which is fun, like,
the outfit,
and that's
and making it walk around.
And that's the thing. If they didn't have that scene and they just kind of like negated that rule, it would be one thing. But like, that's how cameras work.
Yeah,
they're mirrors. And
yeah,
that's why the idea of not being able to be filmed.
Yeah, digital cameras don't use mirrors.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So I
what about Polaroids?
But you know,
they
like
would
all those other older, like so the older pictures.
Yeah,
of
but
them,
this was 2014. I think they were using their phones.
But it's nitpicking.
It is nitpicking.
Silly.
I wouldn't.
I thought about that a couple of times while I was watching the movie, though. So I would agree. I like that they did have pictures.
Yeah,
I was like,
I love that.
I like that they're ignoring this and letting them have pictures.
And I love that in the show they kept that. Like the whole intro is the montage of all the pictures, and it's the same song that You're Dead.
Yep,
which I love that song.
Yeah, same here.
I would have liked. I don't know if this has been done in vampire movies. I feel like potentially it has. That they're just invisible, not their clothes. I would have I like to see that where you would see pictures of them with no heads and arms, but their bodies,
the outfits are there.
Their outfits are still making the shapes.
Right.
I like that idea because I don't understand.
I'm sure it's been done.
I don't know
but
why
remember
your
seeing it.
clothes would
Why
be
do you-
invisible,
yeah.
especially if you change them every day.
Right.
Fucking bullshit.
How do you get your clothes back after transforming into a bat? You know,
That's true.
Just you got to let some things fly.
Don't they address
Like
that on the show? And they don't have an answer? Didn't they ask Laszlo that? And he's like, it's never mind.
Good show.
Next one.
Anything that doesn't work for you?
Yeah, no, it all works for me.
Yeah.
Love it.
Samesies.
Mm-hmm.
I got an award for
Oh,
what do you...
sorry, Brian. I keep thinking you already won.
That's all right.
It's all right.
That's why I said,
I'm used to it.
That's why I said, hey, Brian, what about you?
Hey, Brian, what about you?
What about me, Mark?
What about Brian?
What about Bob?
You already said everything works.
What?
No,
Next category.
What about Smee?
Jesus.
Smee's me. What are you doing in this movie? I got Rhys Darby because he's their manager in Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
So when I saw the movie, I was like, oh, the manager from Flight of the Conchords is in this movie. Awesome. This is a Flight of the Conchords movie. It's not. It's not. It's still a Taika Waititi, Jemaine, Clement movie.
Yeah.
But I was oh, this is going to be even funnier. Because, those guys are hilarious. So that's mine.
Mine would have been Taika Waititi because when I first saw it, I said, "Oh, the dude from Green Lantern." That's it.
Yeah.
New Zealand.
Welcome to Middle Earth, my friend.
Like I know that's where these guys are from, so like that's where it had to take place. But the idea of vampires who wound up in New Zealand
Wellington?
for some reason, which is a long trip from Europe. It just makes no sense. I love it.
Long way.
I love
right?
it, but
And he went the long way.
WTF.
He went the long way.
I read in the trivia section that the exterior shots for the house that they live in is actually Peter Jackson's offices.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
and there's
cool.
like a hill. There's a hill that there's.
Yes, where they attack Stu.
Right.
Where the werewolves attack Stu.
Is the same one in Lord of the Rings where the hobbits were running they were being
running away
chased
from the
by-
ring
running
race.
away- Yeah, the ring
yeah.
race.
Oh,
and
that's
they
awesome.
hid under the branch of
Right.
that tree.
Yeah.
It's the same hill.
Early, when the bugs start coming out?
Exactly, yeah.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
I heard
New
if
Zealand.
you look closely at the masquerade party, there are hobbits in the crowd.
Oh,
yeah?
I thought you
Yeah.
were going to say you can see the ghost of a kid in the window.
I thought you were gonna say,
It's
a
just
cardboard cutout.
just
of
a
Ted
card-
Danson.
It's a cardboard cutout of Peter
Yeah,
Dinklage.
no, it isn't. Hanging himself like the Munchkin in Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
Oh,
that's too far.
I've seen that
Yeah,
too.
that's
I mean, it's
talk about
it's
taking
in
it to
there.
a dark place.
No,
Mark.
jeez.
It's in there. It's sad.
That I made that up, by the
Did
way.
you-
There were no hobbits. It's just
Oh.
yeah. I want to see if you
For
guys
real?
would fall for it. Yeah, no.
Oh well, I fell for it.
Yeah,
Did
so
you really?
I fell for
had
Mark.
no reason to not believe you.
As always.
You should. I'm awesome.
No reason not to believe it.
Brian, what about you?
I guess I'm the only one that's not affiliated. Because I didn't believe him. What was the category again?
What are you doing in this film?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rhys Darby.
Yeah.
Yeah, originally it would have been Taika Waititi, but he's everywhere now.
Yeah.
And I love Rhys Darby, especially since he did that show, Our Flag Means Death. I really didn't know him from Flight of the Conchords. I only saw a couple of episodes.
I didn't even remember, like watching that show, I didn't remember that he was in this. I didn't remember.
Oh, yeah. But
he's coming to Rhode Island in October. He's coming to like
what's he doing?
the
Is it like a
Columbus
stand-up?
Theater. Yeah, I believe so.
Really?
In October,
Really?
like
Wow.
I think it's the week after Con.
Oh, really?
So I think
Are
it
we
might
gonna
be
be
like
able
the
to do it?
17th or something.
Nice.
He's coming to Columbus Theater in
I'd
Rhode
see
Island.
that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So if you guys are,
Let's make plans.
Party. Well, we got to see Corey Feldman first.
He's going to be in the parking lot of the
we're
Columbus.
waiting. He'll be there.
It's a bucket ticket now.
He'll be scalping tickets to his own show. I promise it's worth it.
He also scalps low numbers at the deli too. Any job he can get, you know what I'm saying?
Takes like 6.
The funny thing is
just turn your 9 upside down. It's all good. They'll never know.
The funny thing is that he's not scalping them, selling them. He's trying to buy them.
Yeah, exactly. Buying them back. You don't want to see this.
That's funny. Best quote, favorite quote. I got a shit ton. I'm just
Me
gonna
too.
go with one. And then if there's time afterwards, I'll spew off the rest. If you were going to eat a sandwich, you'd enjoy it more if no one had fucked it.
Yep.
Vlad.
That's the best.
Fucking hilarious.
I use that soundbite for sometimes for like the main course of the appetizer. I've isolated that one. I love it.
Hilarious.
That was mine.
Absolutely.
That was mine.
You don't have any others?
I mean, the
the
whole
other one I
movie's
have
quotable.
is just leave me to do my dark bidding. on
Dude,
the
that was
internet.
mine.
I'm bidding on a table.
I love that one.
I love that.
I love that line.
I got 3 more.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
perfect.
I'm gonna.
And then I went with the bottom. I was like, these other ones will probably be
Yeah.
taken. You said this earlier, but Peter's 8,000 years old.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not coming to the meeting. Viago, and I like this other Viago. He's a pretty cool guy. Bit of a pervert. He's talking about Vlad. And then my other favorite quote is Vlad. He was an 18th century dandy, so he can kind of be very fussy. I just laughed hysterically at all 4 of those lines. But those are mine.
The whole scene where Viago is trying to woo that girl just before he eats her, and then he strikes an artery and it goes everywhere. He's yelling, shit, and he's like, trying to
That's
catch
a
the
great
blood.
running gag too.
Because he does it again later on.
When he's being chased, he opens the Nick's
door.
Girl there.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yep, Jackie's bully.
No, you did.
You did. You called me that. You did.
It makes sense then that Jackie had some good instincts because Nick is a fucking prick.
Yeah.
You know, he was mean to her back then, so she was like, let me get this guy.
One day I was.
So it's her fault, in a sense.
It's Jackie's fault.
Yeah.
because she
she
picks the
brought
victims.
Nick. But
See?
then again.
Oh, now you're feeling maybe like you didn't really like Jackie anymore, huh?
I still like Jackie. Also, Deacon told her to do that, so if Deacon didn't tell
bring some
her to
virgins.
bring some virgins, that sandwich.
Well, yeah, but if she had listened and actually brought virgins, then,
because it's cool.
Yeah, but where's she going to get a fucking virgin?
Yeah,
Kids?
Don't forget the
How
weird.
young
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
Werewolves, not.
Yeah, but you just swear. Well, I'm stressed. It's the full moon.
So like young, like 18 to 30? It's like younger?
You
no,
said
like
she was
your
a
age,
virgin.
18 to
I
30.
thought she looks like a virgin. I wouldn't have sex with her.
The whole thing with Deacon, one day he's giving his background. He says, one day I was selling my wares, and I walked past this old creepy castle and looked at it and said, very old and creepy. And then this creature flies at me and drags me back to his dark dungeon, bit my neck, and just at the point of death, he forced me to suck his blood. And then he opens his wings like this and hovered above me, screeching, now you are vampire. And it was Peter. And we're still friends today.
And Peter's just chilling like,
yeah, he's just looking at him like, nodding his head.
A lot of great lines.
3,000 years old.
You got any other ones?
I'm good.
Else?
Yeah, I was gonna go through them, but just we'll end up quoting the whole movie.
Oh, yeah.
Just see the movie. It's extremely funny.
MVP. I'm going Taika. I'm going Taika Waititi. This was the first thing I was aware of him for doing, and then everything after this, I was like, "Ooh, Taika Waititi's attached. I'm gonna check it out."
Yeah.
Like I haven't
That's
seen
true.
Reservoir Dogs, and I heard a commercial the other day that was like
Taika Waititi
created
was
by
in it.
Taika Waititi. It's like, why am I not watching the show?
You mean Reservation Dogs?
Reservation
Yeah.
Dogs.
I was like, wait a minute, what?
sorry.
Taika Waititi was in
Reservation Dogs. Excuse me.
Close enough.
Now I
He
wanna
was the
start
Ghost
watching the
Rider for
show.
Quentin.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He actually wrote the ear chopping scene.
That was him.
Stuck in the middle with Stu.
Mine is Jemaine Clement. I love that actor.
Yeah,
and
he's good.
I think he's my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah, it's the funniest.
I agree. I had Jemaine Clement because he's by far the funniest in the film. And I mean, Matt Berry's Laszlo is definitely
Based on him?
Based on him.
Yeah,
That's-
I would like to
that's
see
the-
those two together. in
absolutely,
more,
absolutely.
because Matt Berry's the best character on the
Right.
show.
Told you so.
You fucking didn't.
Well, it's a toss-up between him and Colin Robinson,
Right.
actually.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
And like just he's always had like a really cool look. I dig his look.
Yeah, you talk about the photos, when he's taking pictures of his face and that montage
Right.
of all the different faces he makes.
And the funny thing is that like I mean, I'm comfortable enough to say I don't think that he's a very attractive guy. He's got some pretty distinct features.
He's got very big teeth.
But he's always plays like a ladies' man. Like even
Dinner for Schmucks.
Dinner for Schmucks.
He's
yes,
fantastic.
Yes,
in
he's
it.
the one that steals Steve Carell's wife.
Oh, yeah?
and he's hilarious in it. I love him in that movie.
Did you guys ever watch Legion?
The show?
Yeah.
That was on FX?
No.
Yeah, I did.
He's
he
the
in
Shadow King. He plays the Shadow
Oh,
King.
He was?
really?
I don't remember that.
He's like her. He plays a doctor that gets possessed by the Shadow King.
Huh.
Ah.
Now I
Yeah,
wanna
he's
see
really good in it. Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah.
Him, the guy
Oh,
from
shit.
Downton
Yeah.
That's
Abbey.
right. I
That's,
forgot Aubrey Plaza was in that.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh.
That's, a very
That's
good
not
show.
the one that
Gene
Dove
Smart.
Cameron's in, though, right?
No.
She's in the other X-Men
Oh,
one.
you're thinking like Gifted?
Gifted?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Gifted. We got
Nice.
a winner?
Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Taika.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should.
because yeah, I should.
He's the best.
It's tough because like you guys, I love Jemaine Clement too. And I remember when my daughter was growing up, like he did a lot of like voice work for
Right,
cartoons.
right.
He was like the evil cockatoo in Rio. He was
right.
he
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
yeah,
the
yeah.
big turtle in
Oh, Moana.
Moana.
Crab.
You know,
that
yeah,
crab
you know,
thing.
exactly.
Shiny.
Shiny. That's a great song.
It is.
Yeah.
Such a Flight of the Conchords song.
It really is.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough call, but I think I'm gonna lean more towards Taika because I just love everything that Taika's done ever since.
Everything.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's a.
I don't think there's anything Jojo Rabbit I've loved.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
so
it's so
good.
good. So good.
Yep.
It's like a heartbreakingly
Yep.
hilarious.
The two
It's
Thor
so
movies.
funny and still like breaks your heart every time
Yeah.
you watch it.
Oh yeah, I mean Thor definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Especially I mean, I liked Love and Thunder. But
Yeah,
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok
holy
was
shit.
awesome.
Ragnarok's very good.
Yeah, he gave us the best Hulk movie with that movie. Quite frankly, he gave us the best version of that Hulk character.
I would agree.
I said it. I'll say it again.
Does it make the rotation?
Yes.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
How does it stack up? Vampire movies? What do we think?
Mockumentaries.
Like
I
mockumentaries?
got both
or just-
vampire
okay.
movies, mockumentaries. We could separate the
It's
two.
up towards the top.
It's
Yeah,
up there.
I think it's up the top
as a
for both.
vampire film and a mockumentary film. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that was an easy one. If you had to make a sequel, how would it go? My sequel is essentially either continuing the story of the roommates or a separate movie altogether with the werewolves. And
That's
how,
exactly what I was
houses look
thinking
like.
because that's the one I want. They've been
Yeah.
dangling it over our heads for years now and still waiting for it. Still want it.
That would be mine as well.
It was originally going to be called What We Do in the Moonlight. But then they decided that
that'd be
werewolves
cool.
sounded better because werewolves.
Werewolves, yeah.
Werewolves, not swearwolves.
You got,
How about you, Derek?
Derek, you got a
something?
sequel?
Yeah, I would like a crossover film where the guys attempt to take over the Jersey turf on the TV show. Kind of muscle their way in, then you get like the duel of Clement and Barry.
Oh
The
man,
two of them working off
God,
each other
who
would
would
be
I
hilarious,
root for?
right? I know.
I would not. I would not know who to root for that one.
Yeah.
If post-credit scene, I'm going to go with Nick tries to eat another chip, aka fry, and pukes blood all over the place.
Yeah. That was my daughter's favorite scene.
I want to see him because I feel like he's smug enough to be like, well, maybe if I eat one this time, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to see an end credit with that.
Maybe I won't eat it with ketchup this time.
Yeah, right. And just starts puking blood, which is really funny. Who eats the pizza? And is it season 1 or season 2? It's like
I think
flying,
season 1.
puking.
Yes.
Yeah, it's fucking hilarious. Isn't it? Like puking from the sky. It's fucking genius.
The werewolves and vampires having like a barbecue, and they're throwing frisbees, and the werewolves are catching them, but in human form, a la Teen Wolf 2.
Right.
That's what what I would like to see.
A la Teen Wolf 2.
Are they gonna break out into karaoke and broke my heart?
I prefer it, and with these guys rather than Jason Bateman in that movie. But
I'd like to see a post-credit scene with Minogue and O'Leary, maybe with the werewolves, and it's treated like a rabid dog report, like someone, and they get there, and the animal control officer is there, played by New Zealand's own Richard O'Brien, and they argue over who has jurisdiction over the.
Oh,
the
I like
animal,
that.
right?
That's good.
I like that. Bring them back. Yeah, at the end. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You got an end credit over there?
I don't, because I really like the end credit scene that's there, where it's
where he's
Deacon trying to hypnotize the audience to forget the movie.
Forget the movie. Yeah, that is a good end credit.
Well, that didn't work because we
remember
it
it
fondly and
very well.
remember it, and we love it.
So they weren't really vampires. Is that what you're telling me?
He's just bad at it.
They're just actors.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Tito, they're just actors. Snap. That's all.
The Men in Black approach. Will Smith
Did you
tries
flashy thing me?
Damn.
Deacon, you flashy thing me?
Cause damn.
slap.
How many times have you flashy thing me?
I get your skins hanging off your body.
Sugar
He
water.
was wearing a Agger suit.
Sugar water.
He was wearing a Agger suit.
Oh,
She's great as Elaine's roommate.
Siobhan Fallon.
She was great as Elaine's roommate.
When they're doing the jungle love, Kramer crashes.
Yeah, crashes through the table. Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking hilarious.
Kramer.
What we do in the shadows.
Excellent movie. We love it all around. So this is one we all agree on. We all love it. We all recommend it. Definitely check this out. It's one of those films you can watch any time of year.
It really is.
It's a great Halloween film, but you see it every year.
Yeah, whenever you're in the mood for it, pop it on.
It's
It's a great way to kill an hour and a half and laugh your ass off while doing it.
And watch the show. You know, it's funny because I've met people who have only seen the show, never seen the movie. People who have only seen the movie, never seen the show. And then people who have seen both, and then debate the two, which I like.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you saw first, and then
wasn't it Aaron that saw the show first
Aaron
and then didn't like the movie?
First and did not like the movie.
Yeah, I have a friend who doesn't like the show at all, or liked the first season and hated every other.
Kathy
season.
doesn't like the movie, but she likes the show.
Yeah.
She doesn't think the movie's very funny. What are you laughing at? Oh, that again.
Well, I love them both. I love the movie. I love the show. I can't wait for the new season. I'm glad Colin Robinson's back to being an adult. Growing up, Colin was a little much for me. I'm gonna be in the minority, and I did not dig that. And once he started getting older, it was funnier. But I could have done without baby Colin and shit. But those first two seasons are fucking phenomenal, and I'm hoping this new one is great. So. Anything else?
No.
What is making our geek flag fly?
Cheeto?
I got one. So I watched random. My kid was away at camp, so I had a lot of TV to myself.
Nice.
So I just started watching a bunch of shit I hadn't seen, and I watched the requel of Candyman.
Oh yeah.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen.
Yeah.
And
awesome flick.
Teyana Paris, who is Monica Rambeau. Is in it, and I was like, this is fucking phenomenal. It's a continuation of the story. They do these really awesome like paper puppet stories as they're telling
like shadow
puppets. Puppets, but they're paper and they move like shadow puppets. It's very cool when they're telling like backstory. And it's like a continuation of the lore of Candyman. You know, it's the Tony Todd version, who was that original, and how it kind of grew into, you know, different men in these different experiences being accused of things that they didn't do. And the Candyman kind of, that figure kind of attaching itself to each one of these people. And it's got like a cool twist. Tony Todd is in it. And Vanessa Williams is in it. She was in the original. It's this really good commentary.
Yeah.
It's not, I wasn't really afraid. The original Candyman didn't really scare me either, but I really always liked that. The original Candyman's kind of ahead of its time. As far as like the social commentary of the film. This one, and it's a Jordan Peele, so he's in it. I didn't realize the woman who directed it is the one who's directing the Marvels.
Yes.
Same director. So that gave me a little bit of hope for that movie. But just a really fun, it's graphic though. There's a lot of gory shit.
Yeah.
But there are some really fun kills. But I just thought it was like a really, really good movie. The other movie I saw, I've never seen it. Anytime anyone brought up the movie Warrior, I was, the Tom Hardy MMA movie? Or ever see the Tom Hardy MMA? And I don't know that I've ever seen any, or I knew anybody who like really saw it or recommended it, but I watched it recently. This is a fucking amazing film. I'm really upset that I waited so long to see it. It's Joel Edgerton. It's Tom Hardy. Nick Nolte's in it. He's phenomenal. Frank Grillo is like, I don't know, he's becoming one of those Bruce Campbell types.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, Frank Grillo's in this? Awesome. Even if he's in it for like 6 minutes. Yeah. It's just a phenomenal film about two brothers who end up fighting each other in mixed martial arts, and the action scenes are really, really great fighting scenes.
Wow.
And Nick Nolte plays their like broken down alcoholic dad.
So himself.
Yeah, he is fantastic. And I guess at that point in his life, he had been clean, but he really was just like, I was an alcoholic until I was 48 years old. So it's basically just revisiting his past. Yeah. But really, really cool movie, really fun movie. Both movies I saw, I thought they were fantastic.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. I'm reading DC's Night Terrors, the new DC event that stems from Dawn of DC and Lazarus Planet. It's crossing over through all the titles of the DC universe.
Was that the one with the short stories?
Nope. This is a big event. It's in the main canon, not the one you're thinking of.
Okay, because that was called Night Terrors, wasn't it? The one with the Harley Quinn and Deadman on the cover.
But this is KNIGH.
Oh, okay.
Different night, and
Dark
it's
Knight.
Oh, gotcha.
And it's phenomenal. I mean, so far I've read the main storyline, and then there's the separate titles. I just read the Ravager one, which is really cool, and it's introducing a new villain called Insomnia, who gets the Nightmare Stone from Dr. Destiny.
Oh, I saw. Okay, yeah,
it's awesome.
I saw
so
a cool. I don't know if it was the actual cover or a, what do you call it when they make different covers?
A variant.
A variant. That was like Batman mixed with Deadman.
Yeah,
and I was
that's
like,
a variant cover.
Is it?
Yeah.
I was like, that looks awesome. I want that.
Deadman is featured heavily in this because he's in that realm, and we don't exactly know who Insomnia is yet. So it's kind of it's got that mystery. That's me. I'm dropping turds.
Dropping knowledge.
Because if I remember correctly, I walked into the John and someone had left a huge floater.
Gems. They're called gems.
Knowledge. Yeah. Gems, of DC knowledge.
Yeah.
I also, check this out. I'm really digging it.
This just got released, right?
It just got released now. There's
There's
about
a ton.
several issues. Yeah. There's the main story issue, and then there's like Night Terrors, Ravager, Night Terror, Superman, Night Terror, Batman. There's an issue or like an issue or two that's gonna, so you
characters.
Yeah, sure. But it's awesome. I mean, it's
cool.
everybody's in there living their nightmare right now, and DC does horror so well, and they're proving it again. They proved it with DC versus Vampires and Deceased, and now they're proving it again with this. It's like this is as close as like Nightmare on Elm Street as you're gonna get, because if you fall asleep, you're fucked, and many of the heroes do, and so it's pretty cool. And some great stories, great artwork, great writing. Yeah. Definitely check this out.
Yeah, I think DC always had a better like magic and mysticism aspect to their universe.
Yeah.
More so than Marvel.
Well, it makes sense.
I just wasn't I didn't dig those characters in Marvel as much as I do DC.
Because they come from pulp horror. Like most of the early ones come from pulp fiction, pulp magazines, that sort of thing. So
and the whole Justice League Dark, like
is
made up of so many cool
great characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love. They just do it better. I don't know.
And even a lot of the rogues are buried in like classic Jekyll and Hyde, and you know, the Joker comes from The Man Who Laughed. You know, and he's based on, you know, like Conrad Veidt, and they just
Solomon
all come
Grundy
from
and-
classic
Yeah.
horror and classic pulp stuff. So, and Marvel kind of came out of, what would you say? They're based more in real places, and DC's got fantasy worlds.
Fantasy-
Yeah, I get that.
fantasy
totally.
Yeah, but I just think they do the characters better. Like
Right.
Doctor Strange is just not that cool to me. Constantine
I
is
love
fucking.
Doctor
I like
Strange.
I'd rather read a Constantine. I think there's. I'd rather read like was it the Stranger, the guy who wears the hat,
Phantom Stranger.
Phantom Stranger.
Yep.
I think is a cooler character.
Yeah.
Like I just think there's cooler mystical character. Swamp like Man Thing is cool. Swamp Thing is the fucking shit though.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like it's, I don't know. I just think DC's those types of characters.
Yeah, they
Dead Man
definitely
is such
do.
a cool fucking character, and a character you can't even see that's interacting in this world and done really really well.
You're really gonna like
Marvel will never have that character, or
No.
if they do, it's like a direct rip.
You're gonna like this story because, like I said, a lot of Dead Man's in a lot of this story, and he knows what's going on, and he kind of, at least in the first issue, he's narrating the story.
Yeah.
He's explaining to the audience, okay, this is what's going on here, and this is what I used to be. This is what I have to do.
I like the Spectre. I don't know, just
Spectre's
Edrican.
total
Like I
judgment.
just think
Yeah.
they're just better, like
you said,
mythical,
mysticism
mystical,
and
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
I don't fuck Dormont. I don't like that shit.
Fuck Dorma.
Baron Mordo, like those characters just don't do it for me.
Right.
Oh yeah, but like Darkseid and the New Gods, I think is a cooler, Lobo. There's some cooler, but I think like Marvel's probably their world is probably more expansive.
Yeah, it's all Jack Kirby anyway.
Yeah,
Marvel
true,
and
true.
DC.
Right.
So
True,
it all
true.
stems
That's
from
true.
that
Yeah,
same awesome imagination.
Touche.
Anyway, and lastly, well, I saw the Mario Brothers movie.
Oh,
Finally.
that's
fun.
Yeah, loved
Fun
it.
flick.
Loved this movie. I absolutely loved
What'd
it.
you see it on, Mark?
I saw it on Vudu. Derek,
Oh, okay.
Derek put it on
I
Vudu.
bought it for the kids.
And
I almost
we
watched it
all
yesterday.
sat down
Quote
and we
unquote
watched
the
it.
kids.
One
We
for
all
them?
loved it. Oh my god, it's so cool. I have one complaint in that whole movie, which is rare. I complain about
He doesn't
it
have an
all the-
Italian accent.
No, that didn't bother me at all. My one complaint was I wish. Have we all seen it?
No.
I have not.
Then I'll
Go
shut
go
up.
for it. Go. Yeah,
No,
that's
no.
okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
wait.
because I probably will never watch it.
You're not gonna watch it.
I have no
It's
desire.
I wanna see
hilarious.
it, but
It's
go ahead.
so-
Say
you
whatever-
would like it.
say what you're gonna
It's
say.
very funny. Okay. Well, the payoff is good, but for a lot of the movie, Mario and Luigi are separated.
Yeah.
Luigi gets kidnapped and he's being held by Bowser, and Mario has to figure out the world with the help of the princess. The princess is kind of training him, which I get it. She's, part of the land,
interesting.
and that's cool.
Okay.
But
more damsel in distress.
I need more Mario and Luigi fighting together,
Yeah.
which you get the last 10 minutes of the movie. Instead, you have this team up of Princess Toadstool, Toad, Mario, and Donkey Kong, played by Seth
Donkey
Rogen.
Kong Jr., yeah.
Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah.
They have a whole Mario Kart race. It's fucking awesome.
Nice.
They throw a lot of cool shit in this
They
movie.
totally do.
Rainbow Road,
Yeah. Dude,
Luigi's
they
Mansion.
Dude, they opened the movie with a commercial that Mario and Luigi made for their plumbing service, and it's the fucking song from the old TV show
Yeah.
with Louis Albano.
Oh,
and-
yeah. Okay,
And the guy at the diner is the old guy is the original voice of Mario. Yeah.
I definitely want to see it. I just haven't
Yeah.
gotten around. I just
So
see that I was
that
on your
would-
Voodoo,
that-
and I was
Right.
like, oh, I gotta watch this.
So you do get a good payoff, but that was my one complaint. I was like, good, but I need more Mario. That's one thing.
The next one will have more of a partner.
And very quickly, because I know we got to wrap up. I'm sorry. Happy birthday to the great Todd Browning. It was Todd Browning's birthday today or yesterday, this week. Todd Browning, who made one of my favorite films of all time, the Bela Lugosi Dracula. He made great films like Freaks, Mark of the Vampire, The Unholy Three. Just a slew, what the pioneers of horror directors, often overshadowed by James Whale, but he did it first, and he gave us, I think, still one of the best Dracula movies of all time. So just a shout out.
I
to
love
him.
Freaks too.
And Freaks is awesome. Phenomenal.
I've been rewatching Archer because I
loved Archer.
Oh, I love Archer.
I've kind of been stoned most nights. I've been coming home and hitting the vape and having a gummy
whatever works
or
for
two.
you.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I do got though, man? I got a joint, man.
Oh, wow. All right.
Hey, come on. Light it up. Let's get Chinese eyes, man.
So I was like, what do I want to watch, to fall asleep to, and in my bed on my iPad, and I was like, I haven't watched it in a long time, and I'm starting from season 1, and god damn it, that show is
I went like 10
great.
seasons or something.
Yeah,
It did,
yeah.
pretty
I
long.
mean, and it's just like, every character on it is hilarious, and goddamn,
Love all the
I love
callbacks.
it. Right, and then and like like the repeated things
Yeah.
that we say
The
phrasing
catchphrase.
all the
Phrasing.
time. Like,
Phrasing.
Yeah.
And Jessica
Walters.
Walters
Gangy?
is so awesome
Gangy.
as Mallory.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm rewatching that, and
Well, that sucks to be
Yeah,
you.
that
You be who it sucks to be.
that show got me through the pandemic. When I had
When you had
COVID, that was when
yeah.
I watched Archer,
binged the
all
whole
10
thing,
seasons, all
right?
10 seasons in 2 weeks.
I haven't gotten through it all, but it's so good.
It's so
It's
good.
on, because it's on Hulu,
Yeah.
and it's awesome.
So good.
And my other thing was that James Gunn announced some casting.
Oh, we were talking about that.
Superman Legacy.
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion, who is a James Gunn staple, and who we knew was going to be in the DC universe somehow. He is Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
I'm very excited.
In Superman, and also and then he went on to say, he confirmed, because someone had asked. He's big on answering questions on Twitter, which is great. I really appreciate that about him.
Derek's dropping knowledge now.
Yeah, now I'm dropping knowledge. That's right. He stated that someone had asked if originally Finn Wittrock from I think it's Finn Wittrock's the guy from one of the guys from Glee, I think, and American Horror Story. I think that's what I'm thinking of, because it's Finn Wolfhound is the
From
Wolfhard
Stranger
kid.
Things, from
Right.
Wolfhard.
But he was originally cast as Guy Gardner for the show, and they asked, is he in or is he out? And I guess James Gunn said no. Nathan Fillion will be playing Guy Gardner in all DCU appearances.
Good.
So because James Gunn's
that
made
is cool, yeah.
well, and because
they're supposed to all be connected,
right?
Yeah.
And including video games, cartoons,
Right.
shows, whatever.
Right.
They're
If,
all
you-
going to
if,
be
you- if
connected.
you do it in the movie, you're doing it on TV,
Right.
you're doing it in the video games,
So,
and anything that needs your voice or likeness.
So which is I like that. I like that's the way to go.
Yeah, what's the other character? They cast a Hawk Girl, and they cast
Hawk Girl. I
Mr.
can't
Terrific.
remember
Mr.
the names. Yeah, Mr. Terrific is the guy who played Darwin in X-Men First Class.
You were saying that.
Yeah.
And
Tito was saying.
Metamorpho is
Mr. Zaz.
Mr. Zaz from
Yeah,
Gotham.
NoHo Hank from Barry.
Yep.
Right. Yep.
So it seems like they're going Brave and the Bold. I mean, they're doing a Batman Brave and the Bold movie. And in Superman Legacy, they seem to be putting together a Justice League Brave and the Bold style cast. You got Metamorpho and Guy Gardner. And these were characters of the Justice League in the 60s.
Right.
So it'll be very interesting to see where they go from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes me more excited to want to see this movie.
And I think Nathan
fucking tired of
Fillion is
Superman.
a great choice for
Yeah.
Guy Gardner.
Oh, awesome. Any
Yeah,
Green Lantern.
I'll take. Yeah, I think he's.
You know?
I mean, he voiced Hal Jordan. I think he's a perfect Hal Jordan.
Yep.
But I'm glad he's not like TDK or like an alien.
Right,
or
something silly.
like
It's a
something
main character.
Hopefully
Yeah.
substantial. Yeah, I'm looking forward for that.
So
Okay.
that's it.
All right. So Paramount Plus now has all of Showtime's content. And thankfully, because I have been dying to see Yellow Jackets, and I even talked about this before.
did,
when,
yep.
when you mentioned it a few weeks ago, Tito, I was like, I've been chomping at the bit to see this show, to the point where every week I'm like, should I get that free trial and just binge the show? But now I don't have to. Thankfully, Paramount Plus has everything that Showtime has, and we've been binging Yellow Jackets all week, my wife and I. I'm not sure how many episodes are in the first season, but we're up to episode 8, so I'm sure we're more than halfway through.
I think it's like 10 or 11
10,
per
yeah,
season.
it's usually about 10 episodes, but
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. So we're almost done with the first season right now, and we are loving it.
I really
hear
like
it's
the
awesome.
first
Yeah,
season.
it is phenomenal.
I really like the way it ends. The second season is very shows these days you're like, please don't get canceled. Because the second
Right.
season ends on a cliffhanger, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, please make a third season.
I'm sure they will.
I
I think
gotta
it's one of
know
the
what
most popular
happens.
shows right now.
I got to know what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun.
It is a
It's got
really
good
great
cast.
show. Wow, what a cast.
Yeah, the
Melanie
young actresses
Linsky.
are really fun.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
the young actresses too.
Yeah.
The older actresses are really
Yep.
good too. Yeah.
Another show that we're watching is The Witcher season 3 on Netflix. Henry Cavill is still playing Geralt, the Witcher, and I think I read that he does somehow transition to Hemsworth in this season. Like, really? I don't know what happens. I don't know if it's a magic spell or what, but yeah, he's only in it for half the season.
I'm sorry, he transitions to Chris Hemsworth?
No, the other Hemsworth, Liam.
The one that was married to Miley
Cyrus?
Yeah.
Not anymore. They're not. She's saying.
Oh, really?
She's got a whole song about him.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
You know, that's funny. That's one of the. I actually played that game, and I've never seen that show.
No, the show's pretty good.
I liked the game a lot.
Yep.
So is he going to turn into another?
He's going to turn
actor
into
a la Doctor Who.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how it's going to happen, but
Remember
it's supposed to
how
happen.
Christopher, what's his face?
Yeah,
turns
Eccleston.
into David Tennant.
It went all the way back from 1960 something. They've been.
No, I know, but that's when I jumped.
Oh
on
yeah,
board,
no,
when
I get
they re-released it on Sci-Fi,
Yep.
and the dude, I was like, hey, the bad guy from Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yep. Then he turned into David Tennant.
Yeah,
Tennant turned into Matt Smith, and Matt Smith turned into Peter Capaldi, who turned into
What's Christopher Eccleston's
Jodie Whittaker.
deal? Sometimes I can't tell if he actually likes being an actor. You know, because everything is just I hated that. I hated doing everything I've ever done.
It just looks like he's pissed.
Yeah, it's like, nah, that sucked. It's like, what?
We are your only friends in the world. Why subject us to this hell?
He's the Dave Caruso type, you know? How many shows was Dave Caruso?
He's the Alan Moore of acting.
Yeah.
He's disassociating himself from everything he's done.
Well, let's not be mean.
I love him. I love him in Gone in 60 Seconds.
He's great. But I feel like if you asked him about the movie, he'd probably be like, it sucked.
Building the table or something.
The wood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Making the coffin. I bet if you asked Christopher Eccleston, what'd you think about Nicolas Cage is a hack, that movie blew. I guarantee he fucking hated it.
I don't know. He spotted some nice things on the featurettes, so maybe he did like that one. They said he was a. No, it's true. They do pay him for that.
So the main thing that I've been geeking about this week is a podcast that was recommended to me called S-Town. Have you guys heard of this one?
No.
S-Town stands for Shit Town.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Even more.
Right.
So the synopsis of this one is that there's this guy named John B. McLemore. But this guy, John B. McLemore, in 2012 started sending emails to the staff of the show This American Life on NPR. And he wanted them to investigate an alleged murder in his hometown of Woodstock, Alabama. And this is a place that he claims to despise vehemently. Hence the title of the show, because that's what he calls it, Shit Town. Instead of Woodstock, he calls it Shit Town. So after a year of exchanging emails with these people and several months of conversations with Macklemore, the producer, Brian Reed, he travels to Woodstock to investigate what's going on. So he investigates the crime that this guy, John B. McLemore, claims happened. Like he says, one kid got beaten to death, and because he was the son of a rich business owner, it got buried by the inept police and blah, blah, blah. So he wants these people to investigate. And in the meantime, he makes friends with this Brian Reed. So he investigates the crime and eventually finds out that no real murder took place. But he does strike up a friendship with this Macklemore guy who is a very, he calls depressed but colorful character. And it's true. If you listen to the guy, he sounds like Chris Elliott. He reminds me of Chris Elliott doing a real Alabama accent. Yeah, it's really fucked up. But he records all the conversations that he has with this guy, and it is out there.
Yeah.
But he's got this real Southern drawl, but he's so well read. He speaks like he should be like almost teaching at Harvard. He knows his shit. At the end of the second episode, it gets really dark, and I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it really takes a left turn, and you guys should check it out. I'm up to episode 5 of 7 right now, and I'm totally hooked.
It almost sounds like they borrowed from Vengeance. Or Vengeance borrowed from that. Have you seen that?
What's Vengeance?
That's the one with.
I mean, this is a real story.
Yeah,
this is true life.
It's the movie with B.J. Novak.
I know which one. Yeah, no.
Friggin' awesome.
That was one that just came out.
On Amazon.
Yeah,
but similar thing where he goes to do a podcast about a true crime podcast.
Oh, I wonder if that's where he got the idea from. Then
there's a family who wants him to investigate the disappearance of the daughter, but it turns out it had nothing to do with drugs or gangs or anything like that.
It's very possible he based it on this because this all took place in 2012 to 2015.
Yeah.
And the podcast was issued in like 17 or 18. So it's been out for quite a few years.
Yeah. So then I bet they
so
nice. It
yeah,
sounds awesome.
It was recommended to me when we went up to New Hampshire before we went up to Canada. We went to New Hampshire for a cookout, Kathy's uncle's friend's house. And he had a bunch of his neighbors there. But there was a couple named Matt and Sheila. They were about our age. Everybody else was older. I had on a Hammer shirt, and immediately the guy Matt looked at it, and he's like, I could tell he was eyeing the shirt.
Yeah.
So I went like this, and he's like, I thought that was a Hammer shirt. I'm like, oh, I love Hammer. So we started talking podcasts, told him about our show, and he started telling me about stuff that he listens to. He was into the cryptozoology kind of stuff. So he was telling me about Bigfoot kind of podcasts and stuff. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
We can do that.
We're gonna get into that.
We're gonna get into that next.
So
after podcast.
I brought up the Brockton the triangle
the
there,
Bridgewater
triangle.
Yeah.
Yep. He said he knew about it. They started talking about Puckwudgies. I'm like, the Puckwudgie.
The Puckwudgies.
So
I have them in my backyard when I grew up.
So they were the ones that referred this S-Town to me. So
nice.
I put it on like you. I immediately put it in my phone and I started listening to it this week, and it's good. It'll hook you.
Cool. I usually do that when you guys bring those up or songs or movies. Put
it in the phone so you don't forget. But that's me. One other thing. So this past weekend, we had the pleasure of guesting on the Two Geeks and a Microphone show, filling in for them. Yep. They were both on vacation, and they were nice enough to let us take over, and we did Saturday morning. So if you out there want to hear more of us and check out their awesome show, they usually go live on Saturday mornings. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube, anywhere, Twitch, I think. But check them out, Two Geeks and a Microphone. I just want to say thank you because Steven was very appreciative, and he actually left us a very generous donation on our Ko-fi page.
Oh, wow.
As a thank you. So I just want to say
Thank
that
you,
was
Steven.
very, very nice of you. Very appreciated, but you really didn't have to do that. It was our pleasure.
Totally. It's fun.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
Yeah. So thank you.
Good topic too. It was a
we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it.
Nice.
I just wanted to say thank you again for to Stephen and Michael for letting us on, and hopefully we didn't outstay our welcome, and we'll be invited back.
No way.
Didn't scar Megan.
No way.
Didn't scar Megan at all.
She loved us. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that was fun. Thank you, the both of you, and check out their show, Two Geeks and a Mic. Great show. Great podcast. Anything else?
I think that's about it for me.
All right, cool. Thank you very much. I guess that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Three Geeky Dads. If you would like to search for past episodes, whether it be our Drink Till It's Goods or Verses or just us shooting the shit about whatever is popular, like 5 years ago, because we tend to be late on this.
5 years ago.
Because we have a lot of
like 40 years ago. Okay.
We're very current. This was 1999.
We're not current. We do things after all the other podcasts.
That's right.
do
We let them,
late to the party. Let them all duke it out, kill one another, and then we come in and say what really matters. That's right. But if you want to hear any of that stuff on any of our past episodes, Brian, where can they go?
They can go to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.3gdpodcast.com. As Mark said, you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there, and along with one-click buttons where you could easily subscribe to us. If you're not already a subscriber, please hit one of those buttons to the podcast platform of your choice, and you will never miss an upcoming episode. Also, as I just mentioned, thank you again, Stephen, for the generous donation. We have a Ko-fi page, and the link can also be found there at www.3gdpodcast.com. And if you, too, would like to make a small donation, if you like what you hear, and we hope you do, please consider making a donation. It helps keep the podcast going. Also, our email link is there. Please, if you want to send us something, you listen to us. We want to hear from you. So send us anything, suggestions, comments, how much you like what we do in the shadows, how much you like Tito's opinions, how much you like Derek's opinions, what you think, whichever you think is cuter, Mark or myself. anything that comes to mind. We want to hear from you. What else is there? Our social media links are there. We are found on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our audio can be found weekly on YouTube. And all the links are there as well. And did I miss anything? I think that's pretty much it. So, gentlemen, I'm going to pass this back to Mark, but I want to say out there, thank you as always for listening.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, guys, as always, for joining me to talk geek stuff. And thank you out there, everybody, for listening. Tune in next week, same geek time, same geek channel. Until then, for Three Geeky Dads, I am Mark.
I'm Derek.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tito.
I don't know about you, old chap, but I have a raging hard-on.
That's right, you are. So I'm just going to conclude with me saying, keep watching the skies, because you might see a bat fight.
Man with a mustache.
Oh, yeah. Mustache. I remember that. Tom Atkins. That loser. Fucking loser.
I'm going to see him this summer. This September. I'm going to see him.
You're going to get arrested, too. Are you there?
I'm going to get arrested.
Arrested?
Why?
For harassing Tom Atkins?
No, I'm going to be a gentleman.
Like, oh, Tom.
That's exactly what I'm going to say.
Take your pants off! Take off your pants! Tom! Take off your mustache!
And it was one that I hadn't seen, and I really liked it.
Not yet.
It sounds like she's in my head.
In your head, in your head, Kathy,
It writes itself.
Kathy.
It writes itself.
Hey, give me a vampire joke, Derek. Please.
How many vampires does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I don't know how many.
1 to hold the light bulb and 2 to turn the ladder. That's a Polish joke.
Derek, give me a vampire
It works on so many levels.
Being Polish, I'm offended.
All right, my wife is Polish.
I'm triggered.
Wherever she is, she's probably offended too.
I'm triggered by your offense to the Polacks. We've contributed a lot to America. We've given you Gronkowski, right?
Legend.
And sausages.
One of the greatest, dumbest tight ends that ever lived. He's amazing. He really is.
He's dumb.
He's so amazing and just really dumb. I don't know. I don't think it's because he's Polish.
That dumbness is probably because he's Polish, but it got him very rich.
I think he hit his head too many times.
It's going to happen.
What did the vampire say after drinking blood from a bodybuilder?
I don't know. What?
Phew, that's strong.
Or for some reason it just doesn't sit well.
No.
Yeah. Sounds a little dirty.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's...
How does Dracula get his flashlight to turn on?
No.
With batteries.
Better.
Oh,
Better.
2 to hold the flashlight and 1 to turn the...
Way to work that back. Way to work that back, man.
I'm a full circle kind of guy.
You are. You totally are.
I like a good...
Why are vampires bad artists?
Why?
Because they always want to draw blood.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, me too.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
It's classy.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Is it though?
For this audience, absolutely.
Totally.
Say classy.
Wait,
Vlad.
we have an audience?
Yeah.
Oh.
He was wearing a... I got so...